Previously.
1, 2, 3.
X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show.
Right?
Welcome to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show where we like to kick things off with a nifty bop. I am your
I don't
host.
think that played, Devin.
Oh no, really? Again?
Come on.
Why does that keep happening?
I don't know. It was like pure silence. You're like, we start with a nifty bop.
Well, the nifty
I can
bop
guess
you
what that
always
bop
heard.
would have been, but
No,
I didn't
the
hear it.
bop. The bop the bop was our opener. We heard that.
Oh, yes, we did hear
how,
that.
how about now?
Nifty bop, right? Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Why do I always have to start it up twice now? All right, nifty bop, right?
It is a nifty
We
bop.
started off with a nifty bop. All right, I am your host.
Unfulfilled dreams, cycling on repeat, stuck, rotting. So many futures lost, so many pasts unfinished, lacking closure.
The one
long one today.
skull-horned, flying purple people eater.
Nice.
And of course I have a co-host.
But I won't let him make me any more of a monster than he already has.
I won't, Andre.
Oh, you
I
will.
won't.
You will.
I won't.
You will relent. You will relent to me.
Best
Give
Andre.
yourself to me.
Yeah, well, a monster I've become.
I'm wearing you down. To quote
Yeah.
Steve Urkel from the 1990s. I'm wearing you down, buddy. I'm wearing you down.
You know, if I may, when I heard the purple people eater, I thought, you know who I thought was going to be introduced, even though it's not their enemy, the Purple Man. But I thought it was a coincidence.
Well, he was in the series because he was
True.
in the
Actually.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
which was weird when he showed up in the series. We're like, what? Purple Man's here, but
Yeah.
right on.
Well, I mean,
Good
at this
villain.
point in the point in his career in which he would have shown up in the series would have been long before Alias or anything that kind of
That's
made him
true.
cool. When he was just sort of a nobody
Daredevil
really.
villain. Yeah, but yeah. Oh, and we have a guest tonight.
These sorts don't talk.
He's like, no.
Ever. No, good to see you. Good. Courtney Jackson's here. How's it going, man?
Doing good.
See,
Doing good.
Jack.
It's all good. I appreciate it, that. Thank you. Honored to be here. Love you guys' work, seriously.
Oh, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Very much so.
Appreciate it. You're also in the trenches, promoting X-Men cartoons as well, I believe. So,
Mhm.
Not far connected as you guys. I'm just doing the interviews and whatnot, but yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
He had Lenore and George on the show.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah, cool. Well, that's great. Oh, they're great people to chat with. You had a great time.
yeah, I had a Buza. I always pronounce his last name wrong. Lenore. No, of course, you guys know Allison. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to everything. But other than that, yeah, it's gonna be doing good.
Our queen.
She's amazing. I saw the last one, but I'll stay on this topic. But yeah, she's cool people. She's awesome.
Oh,
That's
she
number
was
five.
such a cool. She was like an early kind, not early, but like midway through when we were doing the original show that we talked to her. She was super cool.
This cast in general, like we haven't met any of the new cast yet, but that will change. But the old cast is like all of them are like the best of people. It's like it's the craziest cast.
Davin still has a few white whales, to quote Moby Dick, that he wants to get for the show we have yet to get. So we will see. Maybe someday our value will fly high enough to get the big guns that Davin seeks.
Oh, we're going to the moon, Alice. We
Are we?
going to the moon?
Talk about dated reference. I'm sure the kids are going to get that one. The nice honeymooners reference that you dropped in there.
We all have gray hairs here. So
Oh, look at that puppy.
I know. This is Rose. She wants to be in the show too. I mean, whenever I'm not
in the show.
Yeah,
She's
whenever I
like,
don't touch her, she just gets jealous. I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
If
that's
one of
all
our
good.
cats jumps in the show, is she gonna freak out and be like, "Oh no, I do not share my space with"?
All of a sudden, like
Yeah.
he just jumps at the screen, and then Courtney goes black.
Nah, we don't have those problems. Very good behavior.
It's a great time. Awesome.
But yes, we are here to review X-Men 97, Season 1, Episode 7, Bright Eyes.
In which
And
several
of
of our
course,
predictions
yes.
from last episode became correct in this episode, which is great. We had said that Bright Eyes was a reference to Cable, and we figured it was probably going to be him showing up. So, which we do finally get. And also, you're surmising as to who is secretly behind everything. I feel as though because Bo DeMaio, I think Bo DeMaio mentioned that all the that he had secret references to this character in several other episodes, which we had discovered in previous ones, a couple of them anyway. So I guess we had realized that would have been instead of just being a fun little Easter egg, realized that it was a huge Easter egg. But I'm curious to see how it fits into everything, like what Forge's relationship is with him and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, so. Oh yeah. And I gotta say, I'm not jumping ahead. I'm just gonna
say. Well, I mean, I assume everyone watching. If you have, my name is to take on that anyway. But if you haven't watched this episode and you're watching this to find out what happens, what are you doing? Go watch the episode first. True. This is just for fun, so you can hear other people.
Bastion is amazing. I love him. He's so good.
And a very 90s villain. Am I incorrect in saying that? Wasn't he around?
Yeah, oh yeah. Operation Zero Tolerance was like the
very true.
When I was not even buying comics anymore. But yeah,
and combining the Ease for Extinction storyline with that made really good sense.
But I do have my Bastion hero click here.
He does look pretty cool.
And he eventually turns into this guy.
Yes, yeah.
Very true.
Which remember it's funny because I mentioned a couple times in last episode we kind of put it together by saying, remember I said how we're seeing a lot more of Nimrod and all these references in the opening to the Nimrod episodes.
Oh yeah.
Which does tentatively combine Cable and Bishop in stories, but that, and we mentioned Bastion showed up in a picture that I saw on the board at Forge's place, and then somebody else pointed out that it looked like he was in the background in Genosha before everything went down. So we were there. We just didn't really figure that it exactly was going to go that route. But it's cool.
Misdirection, which is the show is largely involved in a lot of misdirection.
But it makes a lot of sense too if that there's been a lot of Sentinel action going on in Trask and all that sort of stuff. But also the idea that connecting it to all of that, I guess, with all of the Sentinel stuff, the Genosha stuff, and someone that deeply and all the Nimrod stuff showing up before, it's you think you would have, it makes sense. To have it just be an evolution of, and we saw Master Mold already earlier and all that sort of stuff. So, and also cool.
They're still the ultimate threat. They're always the threat.
Cool voice actor that does his voice work as well, which is cool.
Yeah,
and actor.
I'm just watching The Gentleman right now.
So. Theo James is the voice of Bastion. He's the guy from the New Gentleman TV show.
Correct.
Wasn't he in the Maze Runner movies or one of those? That was kind of the big thing.
He had.
I only know him from Gentleman.
If I may, I think he made a small appearance in the Hunger Games, but I forgot which one. I'm not a heavy fan. I have to ask my girl that one.
He's in the Divergent movies. It's the other one.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Right.
So I knew he was in one of those, and Downton Abbey and a bunch of stuff. He's been, he was kind of like the new hot guy for a while in movies.
He was in the Downtons, was he?
Yes, he's on the White Lotus show as well, which is a big deal. So
wait, really?
Yeah.
I lost my edge.
I never watched it actually. So the Time Traveler's Wife TV show, which is kind of a takeoff of the movie. He does voice work in the Castlevania, the Warren Ellis one. So he's been around.
I watched that. Yeah.
I really like that show. Actually, it's quite good.
It's really underrated. I'm thinking about reviewing that next on my channel. Honestly, I need to.
I haven't watched the new one that just came out, but the original 3 seasons were really, really good.
Yeah.
Warren Ellis is a really cool writer. I know he's semi-problematic in the world, but I think he's kind of coming out of that. But he, as a writer, he's fantastic. I always love his stuff. So pithy and it's very English. Reminds me of all the other English people that are big comic writers, like Morrison and Moore and Ennis and those guys. Although Ennis is Irish, but
Transmetropolitan.
Yes, one of my favorites. But his that was one the film. So that's Grant Morrison. There's something else he did that was Transmetropolitan's kind of like the big one, but Planetary. Planetary is a fantastic book. If you ever read that, highly suggested. Oh, you should. It's amazing. It's not very long either. You can get through pretty fast. There's a great like it basically involves traveling through multiple parallel realities, and a lot of the ones they visit are sort of analogs for famous comic properties. But there's a really great crossover where they team up with Batman, and it's like there's a guy that is like an escaped dude who has this, like he's radiating this ability that keeps pushing himself and everyone around him into alternate realities. So they chase him into Gotham in their world, and then he alternate realities to another world where there's like normal Batman. But throughout this whole event, the guy keeps forcing everyone to a different reality, so the Batman changes. So at one point, like when he's chasing them, it's like regular Batman, and then it's like Adam West Batman. He's all goofy and he's running with like the with the bomb, and he's all ridiculous, and they're all trying to deal with it, and they're not taking him seriously at all because he's so ridiculous. But just like when they're like, I'm gonna kick the crap out of this guy, then when they turn, it like shifts again, and it's the Dark Knight, like the Frank Miller Dark Knight Batman, who's like huge. He's like the Hulk standing in front of them, looking down at him, and it
it's
goes
an operating table.
It's very cool, and exactly. And eventually goes all the way to like the original Purple Glove Batman with the gun and all that. Like it's a really cool sort of, celebration of the history of Batman, but also a really fun singular issue. It's a little low, Devin. I can barely hear that.
What you think they doing up there?
That came in okay. It sounded like it was coming through your computer speakers and we were picking up that way.
Man, all kinds of glitches tonight. Well, I've been flubbing the intros lately.
No, I've been there, done that. No, I need new software. He's not the only one.
Yeah, fair enough. Me flubbing the intros is part of our brand at this point. But what you think they doing up there, C Jack?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You should explain to him what this segment is instead of just shouting something at him and hoping he figures it out if he's not fully.
Right. He just okay. Go.
What you think they're doing up there, Shao? No, no. This is what's going on wherever you're at. What's up with you?
Tell us about you.
Oh, and that's me. I'm sorry. I was trying not to. Us Leos, we like to try to not make it about ourselves. Nothing much.
No,
just
but what are they doing up there?
This is the one time you can go ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That part I can go ham. The weather. Knock on wood. Guys, I know I'm in Vegas. Stateside, and it's not 100 in hell yet. Knock on wood. It's a comfortable 90 degrees, but I'm just taking a break from my channel. As you can tell, I'm not even in my studio right now. So
you live
could
in
just
Vegas
like
proper?
sift 10 degrees here. Like if you guys could just like send 10 degrees here constantly.
I heard it's cold.
Amazing.
It's very cold. You actually get snow and stuff. But to answer your question, definitely yes. I'm in Vegas, born and raised. Yep.
Wow, I don't know many folks that are natural Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegites.
Vegans. Like
Las Vegans.
Like vegans. Yeah.
I was there once and I really enjoyed it. I'd like to go back. It was a really fun.
Yeah, we changed properties, names, streets at least once every 5 years. It's been longer than that. It's completely transformed. But I'm thinking about moving out actually.
Oh, really? Where do you want to go?
Out of Vegas?
I haven't decided. Yeah, just when you're here long enough. Because I was only here long enough for the school systems, like I said, and then since I left that every summer, I used to go somewhere for like a month. You know what I'm saying? I just take a vacation, spend a month somewhere. Not on that luxury anymore, whatever. Just I haven't decided yet. I don't know. Think like East Coast, Utah, Florida. Yeah, I talked to my honey bunny about that.
Utah, you don't hear that one very often.
Detached, when you're stuck in a concrete jungle all your life, you want to get out of it, So
well, yeah, I mean, you're kind of just moving to another. Well, I guess Utah is a fairly hot climate as well, right?
Get on the Canada list early in case Trump wins.
See what you did there. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not that easy. You can't just jump into Canada and get a green card. You need to.
No, that's why I say get on the list early.
Yeah. Well, I
wonder
we let in refugees from Trump last time. That was real. That was real.
There's a story behind it, actually.
I wonder if those folks move back thinking like, oh, the danger's over. I never have to worry about it again. And then this election comes around and they're like, ah, crap.
Like shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't just hop across back and forth the borders anymore. But back in 2001, when I went to Mexico, real quick, I almost got stranded once in TJ. My buddy messed around. This before 9/11. I was barely 20. I'm telling my age. And I wasn't messing around. I was like, hey, they said, okay, name your reason for coming back stateside. Declare yourself and name 3 states in English. I wasn't messing around. My buddy Tito, if he's watching, sorry, but So he messed around. He had
You're going under the bus.
he's throwing it, parking it because he knows he deserves this. So, so they have sugar dolls. He's gonna bring back one for his daughter, whatever. And he's like, I don't have to declare anything. I come from the country of Tito, just messing with the policia, right? So they have a good sense of humor. They mess with him back. So you know what this doll is made out of, right? Sugar. No, this is cocaine, amigo. You know what they do to Mexican prisons here stateside, yo? And they let us in. Yeah, they let us in on the joke. Like, hey, your buddy was fucking with us. We're gonna mess with him. Just give me a heads up. You're not going to jail. All 6 of us, including the cops, were all in the joke. So they showed us in this one-way mirror. Pretty cool. Of him bawling his eyes out. Like, dude, I didn't. Yeah, you had to be there. It was freaking hilarious. He was like, man, I'm sorry, man. I just bought it for my girl, man.
That's awesome.
And he deserved it.
Everyone's just like, ah.
Right.
cool to-
When we
it's
all
cool
walked
to-
in, we all walked in. Like Devin's right. We all walked in like, yo, so you going to the booty house, huh? And they were like, whatever. You had to be there.
I'm surprised the cops even like did that. That's amazing. That's awesome.
They had a good sense of humor. They had us for a minute, dude. They had us. Like, dude, why are you messing with these people, man?
Actually, when I went to Vegas, I you know the snappers, the guys that just snap the cards on the street and then hand them off to you. So yeah, I didn't know what those were when I first got there. I was probably like 22 or something, and
I would have saved you from that.
I just walking down the street, and they're just giving me like I was just taking all the cards, and I realized what they were.
Oh
at the end.
no!
So I had a bunch of
What are
them,
the
and
cards?
I was like, I'll just take. Yeah, they're just cards with like a naked lady's picture on them and the number to call if you want her to come to your room or whatever.
Oh,
So-
my.
So I had a
That's
stack
very
of them, and I
cool.
was like, I'll just bring them back and give them to friends as a joke. And there's no problem. But apparently, a friend of mine told me another friend of his had done that. And when he got at the airport, he got caught for like cocaine residue on the cards. So
Very true.
he got like hung up for quite a while in customs to like, and then to go through everything and search everything to make sure he wasn't trafficking.
Yeah, because our airport's international, so they don't mess around up there. McCarran, or
Yeah.
excuse me, it's called Reed now. Our McCarran is complicated. He got caught up for something he did 20 years ago, so they changed the name in case you guys ever wonder.
Oh, okay. Next time we go to the airport, I'll know the difference.
Yeah, so now it's Reed, not McCarran. So if you ever come back, anyway.
Previously on X-Men.
This, as rumors swirl, Genosha is the opening salvo with the long-feared evolutionary war.
Did someone say evolutionary war?
Or Shaq.
The high evolutionary, perhaps? It'd be cool to see him come back.
That wasn't my
That's one of my
pick, but
top points off
could've
the
been.
list.
Oh, really?
Oh.
All right.
Oh no, well, we'll cut it
That
off
was
there
last
and
episode,
we'll bring it
technically.
back around. Yeah, that was technically.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, yeah, let's get into it.
All right. Well, we begin with the seminal in every time someone dies, the funeral happens to fall on a rainy day, it seems, in movies or television. I've never seen a movie in which the funeral. Actually, no, I've seen a movie where a funeral takes place on a bright sunny day, but it's very rare.
If it were a place like here, it just makes sense. Like odds are it will be raining anyway. But like if that was like in Las Vegas, where CJAC is, for example, and where everyone's dying and it's always raining, it would make no sense.
Everyone's
And-
dying.
and
It's
it
always
would be quite jarring to watch.
It's not a lot of rain happening.
They're in New York, so it's like halfway between, kind of.
What can I say? It's always in the cards here in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh well, there we go. We're gonna be talking about cards.
I saw when I was when I was there, it was right after Team Canada won the gold medal in the Olympics, and when Sidney Crosby scored that golden goal or whatever that they were calling it. So like
I
my
watched
buddy
that
was wearing
in the Rogues Roost in Halifax.
my buddy was wearing what year would that have been then? Because that was when I went to Vegas shortly after.
Was that 98? What was that?
No,
it
it's
was
2000s.
I would have been. It would have been like
2008 or something.
2007 or 8, somewhere around there.
Yeah. I think
Okay,
2008.
So my buddy was wearing a Team Canada jersey everywhere when he was walking in the street, and people were just yelling at him like, "Hey, fuck you!" And he was like,
Oh, shit.
"Gold medal, baby!" This is really funny.
No one knows what he's talking about. It's like nobody's watching hockey. So like, what are you
No, a lot of people.
Honestly, I can back him. Dude, I had a book, Hockey for Dummies. We got our own team finally. I mean,
Yes.
everyone's
Oh,
good
yeah.
with it now.
True.
Yeah.
Actually, your
Golden
team's quite
Knights.
good. I was really pushing when the first they went to the finals on their first year, and I was
We
like,
were
man,
shocked. The
I was-
bookies lost so much money that year because they didn't expect them to get that far.
No,
I
it
would've
would
been
make a lot
like,
of sense for them too. So
I really wanted them to win. It would have been amazing for an expansion team the very first year to win. Like that would have been
Yeah.
like unheard of, which would have been awesome.
If I had some guts, I would have put some money down if I knew that. Shit.
Mm.
Anyway,
Well, we see the funeral.
Well,
It's the funeral for our departed friend Gambit. We see them bring him up to the pulpit. We see Jean and Scott hold hands, which seems like maybe this is starting to reconnect their relationship. I like that they sort of
Maybe the
injected.
war would be the first to remind you that life, like the cards, is wild.
Is violent. Friend of the show, Aid Huff. Great. He's like, this is the best portrayal of Nightcrawler we've ever gotten. This is perfect Nightcrawler.
He's the original voice actor from my research.
Yes, he is.
He is.
And he's also going to get
They were just leaning hard into the religious aspect of Nightcrawler's character in that original series.
I mean, they've leaned pretty hard doing this one. He's the priest at the funeral.
Thank you.
No, but that's the appropriate amount because we've also seen him be jovial and ridiculous and silly, and that's
although based on what we've seen, some clips of what's coming, we're going to get the fun swashbuckling sword.
I know,
wielding
right?
one too, which is really great.
Yeah, because we've got where's that? There's that here. Yeah, like, look at that.
What an intro, man. What an intro.
I'm very happy to see him a regular member of the team, hopefully so.
But anyway, this is amazing Nightcrawler stuff, is I guess my
point. So he's giving a wonderful speech about how Gambit always believed.
How could Remy, so tuned to potential, fail to see how his sins had made him into a hero?
Made him not done.
Every gambler has a tell. Modesty was Gambit's.
Yeah, and it's a great story. Like that's why I said I would be very unhappy. I would be very unhappy if they bring him back. I think it would be a total.
He'll be back as the Horseman of Death. Just accept it now, because it will happen.
Even though he's my favorite X-Man, I was upset to see him go, but he left on a high note. I have to agree with him. It'd be disrespectful for him to come back. I had to put my own bias out of the way. Phase 1.
But they have to establish stakes too, right? Like if everyone's just going to come back, they already did it with Morph. Like, what's the point? We got to have someone stay dead.
It's X-Men stakes. So basically, X-Men deal in trauma, right? So Gambit will come back, but being a Horseman of Apocalypse does not. It's like being Locutus of Borg for Jean.
It'll just be like
he will then have to live with all the people he murdered as a Horseman of Apocalypse. You know, so that's the stakes.
I hope they leave him dead. I like it better.
They will not leave him dead. He will be a Horseman of Apocalypse, and he will murder.
You guys should take a poll.
But
Bo DeMaio said that part of this was he wanted to show there were real stakes. That's why he wanted to kill off a beloved character like Gambit. And they established the whole thing for you to fall back in love with him, leading up until his sacrifice. And now we know he's the only one who died. So, or seemingly.
Then
died.
Here's a crazy theory. If you like crazy theories,
I don't. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
They parted ways with Bo DeMaio because Bo DeMaio wants Gambit to stay dead, and the studio does not. Conspiracy theories.
Yeah, but that seems like a terrible reason to lose $1 million job, probably.
You know what? I'm not doing it.
True.
Seven, I was actually.
But it's like, but it's like what they did with Morph. Like, Leewalds wanted him to stay dead, and the studio didn't.
No, I mean, he's a great part of this series.
Real.
If I had put 25% on that theory, yes, but I was actually down in Hollywood, and I talked to several people on why that really happened, but I'll leave that alone. But radical idea.
Spill the tea. Spill the tea.
Okay. All right. So, without plugging, so I had an after interview when I was down there.
Go ahead, plug away.
I'm being humble here, though. But okay, so short version is I talked to Larry. I talked to Lenore. She can quote me on this.
Throw up your logo.
Thank you. Thank you. Share, comment, subscribe. Appreciate that pitch. And they were like, I am not allowed to tell you it wasn't for stuff that was on his not the IG or
it is that.
Largely. But the problem is they're backpedaling.
That was the theory.
Yeah, no, okay. It's public knowledge at this point, so technically, they can't harm anything. But the problem is to come back. The argument he's making now was the factor that, okay, well, you got Fox here doing this, you got this show doing that, you're sponsoring Family Guy. Like, what I'm doing is bad though, and I kept my work and personal life separated. I can go down that rabbit hole all day. It's a sound argument.
I think it's dumb as shit.
That was it.
I think it's dumb as shit to get after him for that. I mean, it's an adult.
It's just the Disney brand thing. Like they cut ties way easier than anyone else because they wanted to have that.
Well, what's the difference?
Like, look, Mandalorian, for example. Really?
Yeah.
But Gina?
Come on. What if one of their stars is just like a promiscuous person that goes out and has sex with a bunch of different people all the time? Like Is that like, should they be punished for that? What's the difference between having a OnlyFans account?
Yeah.
Like people pay for it. The guy
Well, that's
does
what he
it. It's
has.
his own thing. Yeah, that's what I mean. What's
Yeah.
the difference?
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
difference. I don't want people coming at us, but the idea that like it's just weird
I
that
don't know enough about it.
some sex things are like really taboo and some are not. And what's the difference? Who cares? They're adults
just-
doing adult things with each other consensually. It doesn't matter. They shouldn't have
Okay,
anything
wink,
to say with it.
wink if you know anything about this, or maybe if you know anything about this, Jack, do absolutely nothing. My theory, because this show is so good, to part ways with Bodemayo, like, I'm not saying he eats babies, but does he eat babies?
Oh, that was a wink. No, I'm just so good.
And look, I'm looking at him like, wait, is he holding a poker face? Is he serious, folks? Right.
We're gonna get on we're gonna be a bunch of clickbait articles tomorrow that'll be like, Bodemayo eats babies.
Bodemayo eats babies. No, but it's just like the show is so good. Like I've given every episode a 10, and that's genuine. Like it's the best thing ever put to screen, and like I can't imagine firing somebody like that over like sort of this.
I quoted in my group on Facebook. Sorry, I quoted my group in CJ's Random. The only thing wrong with X-Men 97, and I put dramatic pause. There isn't anything wrong with X-Men 97.
It's pretty great, I must say. The lowest I've given an episode is an 8, and that's
which was ridiculous, and I've
been
roasting him over the fires since then. Like,
Devin just blindly loves everything. There's nothing that could be bad to this show. The show could have came out and been a garbage show, and if you just had all these characters and the voice work, you would have loved it.
No,
it could have.
There are other X-Men shows.
I'm the one actually trying to look at it critically as far as how and compare them to how the better episodes. Like you can't say one episode.
I'm going to rank my 10s.
Oh, here we go.
Oh my god,
this is what I wanted. Because you guys go into it hard.
Then they're not.
I can
10s.
rank the 10.
No, you can't. Then they're not.
Here we go.
Rank my 10s.
They're not 10s. If you can rank your 10s in an order, you should have ranked them in the order when you made the things. They're not 10s.
I can rank the 10s we ranked in the last series.
Oh my god. If every episode,
you still always have a preference, right? Like you could take all the things you ranked at 10, and you'd still have preferences.
If this helps, in the original series, at the last 5 seasons, literally from based upon the drawing style alone, I ranked. Yeah.
But it's about like
Phalanx Covenant was amazing.
If the entire season is 10s, then you can't like.
Not all of them. No.
For him, it will be. For him, it will be because I'm sure the next 3 episodes are going to be fantastic. So.
It will
like
be.
I know they will be. So, but
ranking
10s is ridiculous. If you actually rank them based on what a 10 is to you, and then try to work backwards like I did.
Oh boy!
Then you have a proper rating system.
I'll give you this, Andre. This is the only acquiescence you shall receive in this regard.
That I'm hitting you with logic, and you can't deny that.
No, you hit me with nothing of the sort. Don't make me put on my Vulcan ears if you're going to talk logic, sir.
God.
Vulcan ears right here.
Okay, like if everything is perfect, then how do you measure what perfection is? How do you measure what perfection is if everything is perfect?
Because you still have your own preferences. Like we could take all those ones you ranked high, and you would still like one better than the other. You wouldn't.
I'm gonna tip my
like
tea.
It's the same. Yeah. Yep.
But it doesn't apply when it's the full season.
Look,
like
back to my acquiescence. The only acquiescence you shall get in this regard is if I was being incredibly critical, I could have gave Motendo a 9.
Which is the one I gave an 8.
Yeah, which is the one you gave an 8.
And like Davin takes it as a great insult that I gave something 80%. 80% out of 100, which is a high number. That is a very high number. If your movie is 80% Rotten Tomatoes, you have a very good movie. A fantastic movie, in fact. So, like, don't give me shit for the fact that they're not all 10s. They're fantastic shows. Just some are better than others. And I'm trying to reflect that in the measurement.
I would like to get Jake Castorena or somebody who would have this sort of information on the show some point down the line and ask them the only question I have, like the only nitpick I have for this show, like you say, Jack, the only problem with X-Men 97 is there is no problem with X-Men 97. The only question I have is that disjointed Motendo episode. Like, why not just make a Motendo episode and then do a Life Death episode? Like, the split episode was a bit odd. because they were just so different in stories. But for me, it was a strength because it was like the Motendo thing was a bit too fan servicey and a bit hollow, and to get it to make it a 10, and then they had some like nice dramatic storm stuff at the end. So
you know,
like,
in my opinion, why they did that, because it frustrated the heck out of me. Like from the traditional, when all three of us grew up, you see part one, seriously, you see part two next Saturday. Okay, cool. This got to be part two, and then you look at it like, what the fudge? You know, we're programmed that way because we're the original era of this stuff. You know, and so the fan service, you know, for us, right? But here's the kicker: the fan service is like, Dad, is this the X-Men? You know, Disney knew what they were doing. They made that Moten like, see, this is how Jubilee used to look in the Moten episode. Just an excuse for middle-aged guys like us to show their kids, or girls for that matter, to show this what the show used to be about. Just an excuse. If you want my opinion on it.
I mean, it's still a fine episode. It's just, and like that, if we had to give the whole season a rating, I'd probably give it a 10. You know, it's just
series, yeah. And ironically, that was my least favorite episode. I was ironing my pants when episode came on, like until Storm came back on the screen. I honestly, sorry, I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was a bit buffer.
I mean, I would like to see
that's what Mojo episodes are, and I do love some Mojo.
Although he did lose weight, which was good for him. I'm not body shaming,
but he got it back.
He gained it all back.
He gained it all back instantly.
Instantly, as soon as the ratings started coming.
It was funny, yeah.
Right.
I like the idea that his size is related to his ratings, which is fun. So anyway, we see the funeral.
Wait, what was that last one?
There's a rumor that DeMaio's hard to work with, which is why they got rid of him.
Yeah, rumors that I believe came out of like the Witcher show or something like
that. Not from my source.
I don't want to spill too much tea.
I don't know, man. The show's so good.
So say everything's just like allegedly and like. It's just I wouldn't care if the show wasn't so good and like me wanting him to just do more of it because he's just
very passionate about how he wants it.
Yeah.
Well, Davin, there were a lot of good writers out there. Maybe somebody else will take the reins and be just as good. So
maybe.
Doesn't mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, funeral's going on. We see a bunch of a fun little throwback to the Tide episodes that we reference a lot. With some of Remy's cast of characters from back then, his brother and the other folks that were there. Bobby,
the Tide,
the Tide. The word that was used 1,000 times
on the day of the Tide.
So, everybody's pretty broken up about a Jubilee, especially because of his sacrifice, and she's comforted by Logan. He says, "Life's a lonely war, and some of us got to figure it out on our own." Somebody notices that Rogue isn't there and wonders where she is, to which we see where she is, which is going directly on a mission to attack the government directly and go straight at where she believed they were housing Bolivar Trask after they had captured him last time.
She went Hulk busting.
Yeah, she fights all this Hulkbuster armor.
There's also sure was. I think I got some pics of that at least.
She starts blowing up Hulkbuster.
Just being rogue, going rogue, just being rogue is all.
Lenore, when you watch this, I want to hug you but choke you. Like she held a lot to the chest, dude. I'm really usually good about my recon when I interview people, but she did a fantastic job in this scene. I'll leave it alone.
Oh yeah, and
she was a politician in this country for many years. If she wants to keep
in my town,
she can.
In the town I'm in.
But no, she's one of the good ones.
No, she really is. Her acting career is coming back too. Well, it's always been there in her memoir and whatnot. But yeah, we know.
She's a very good actress. I want to see the Madones.
Yeah, I meant to. It was playing in the theater here, but I never got a chance to see it. So anyway, we do see some nice expansion of the world. I think we're now.
Look at that face.
We are now assured that this is within the cinema, the animated cinematic universe that it was before, because we do see General Thunderbolt Ross, who references that this base was designed to withstand the Hulk, but she manages to fight off all their armor and bust her way in.
Apparently not by a woman scorned with superpowers.
I liked her line there, though. It's like my daddy always said it's easier to break into places because that facility wasn't designed to keep Hulk out. It was designed to keep Hulk in.
Yeah,
very true.
So people are like, is she stronger than the Hulk? It's like, no, she was breaking in. Breaking out would have been a little harder for Rogue, probably, though. She has abilities that Rogue or Hulk doesn't. And we'll talk about Rogue's strength level later, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we see her get in there and grab Thunderbolt Ross, and we cut to Cyclops, who's having a discussion with old Senator Kelly, who's President Kelly, I think now, and
President Kelly.
about needing help from the government. The government is hesitant to give it. Keep taking and
Voiced by
frustrating.
friend of the show, Ron Rubin.
Yes, frustrating Cyclops even further that the humans don't seem to care about mutant deaths or mutant problems. And then he's comforted by Jean, and they mention how they're still searching for survivors in Genosha. Cyclops is still bothered by the fact that Madeline died, and Jean says she knows how much she means to her, and it seems like they're reconciling these characters. I like because it is a show.
Yep.
That is kind of designed for kids as well, ish. I mean, ish.
Yeah,
Mostly for us.
We don't need to hold on to that. Like Cousin Dave's holding on to that.
But there was good.
Like, it's not.
Yeah, if I may, that's one of my clip notes that I use.
Interrupt us whenever, man. We don't.
Oh, okay, cool. There was some good optics. There was some good optics there, as Cyclops put it, pun intended. That he was like,
Yep.
"Well, we're still looking for guys. Help me out." She's
Now I'm
only
interrupting you. I have that line. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Just unfortunate optics.
Optics,
Yeah.
sir.
Well, it's reflecting in his glasses when he says that.
Are you making fun of me, President? No.
Right.
Go ahead.
And no, you're fine. And I want to point out that Scott, considering he's a tactical leader, he does politics pretty well. He was making a sound argument. He was like right there. He was making a point.
Cyclops is amazing.
Yeah. No, seriously.
He
I was
can
like,
do a
dude.
million things.
Right.
Yeah.
And mind you, I don't like the guy. I said it, but he did amazingly well. He's like, dude, there's a human down there. Oh, I'm sure if there was more humans, there'd be some more UN aid. Well, Scott, I'm trying to be your friend here. Somebody else could be in office right now, not going for you, which is a good fun fact. But he was like, well, this whole thing is going south with this whole optic situation. What's going on with the UN? So why are we pulling our punches as mutants? He made a sound argument.
Yeah, no, he's right. He's right.
One thing I think I don't know if
I think we need a Cyclops is right T-shirt on our website.
Yeah, we need a bunch of right ones. We need a Devin was right.
Thanos was right. Anyway,
Thanos was right. Yeah, Andre would wear a Thanos was right.
Well, I don't I think Thanos from the comics was right. I don't necessarily think Thanos from the movies.
Comics, yes, yeah, that's more accurate.
Hey, I'll sacrifice half the universe for love. I mean, I can't think what other reason you'd have to do it besides resources.
And that's why you're married, Andre.
I kill all of you. No, I'm just joking.
No, I don't know if this episode is on purpose, but it juxtaposes Cyclops and Captain America. Like you say, CJ, you don't like Cyclops, and a lot of people don't.
But Captain America is held by and he even says in the episode, which we're getting to, he's held to a standard because he wears the flag.
Cooler than Captain America.
Well, Captain America, as we mentioned in the episode, which we're going to get to in a few minutes, he's bound by being a symbol of America. Well, Cyclops is not. Cyclops is not.
He's a symbol of mutantum.
Yeah, but that's not America.
It's
mutantdom.
Mutant kind would probably be the word you're looking for, I think.
I like mutantdom.
Mutant. That's a tough word. So anyway, Jean is upset also that Madeline's dead because she, for a brief while, felt like she had a sister, which she always wanted. Cyclops says, we can't focus on that. We got to get to Genosha and look for survivors. We got an extended sequence of some sadness, a bunch of sad scenes of seeing a lot of dead bodies and a lot of them pulling people out of the rubble. We see Beast get into a bit of an altercation with Trish Tilby. Do you have any of the clip from this? This is good. Did you have this?
No, I don't. But I just love his thing about tolerance. He's like, I won't waste any more of your tolerance, Trish Tilby.
We see it.
And while he's digging, so Trish comes up and showing some kind of humane personality, like no cameras. It kind of almost brought a tear to my eye.
She's trying, but she's
trying.
She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it.
No. And she's like, "Can I walk with you?" I was like, "Okay." And for a minute, I read it wrong. I thought she was like hitting on Hank. I'm like, "Dude, she's just showing compassion." CJ, stay with the flow. And then, of course, you saw that one girl that you guys pointed out in your last video, that bird chick. I don't know who she is. Who can with the hair? Toucan with the hair.
Her.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so the audience knows. And yeah, she lost bleach and whatnot.
Or somebody will like pipe up.
And Callisto and whatnot. And yeah. And then what I pointed out to you, Dev, is the detail in the show was amazing. Another one at Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
There was this lesbian, this lesbian couple that was together. And
Oh,
only
yes, that was interesting that you sent me there. That was interesting.
yeah,
There's a
and
bunch
they
of-
were
yeah,
they were
like a
together in
story
episode
happening
like
in the background.
right. No, you're fine.
Yeah.
They were in episode 5 together, and then the next clip, I was like, wait a minute, that chick looks familiar. I'm over here just tearing this apart now after I watch it, right? But notepad and all. I'm like, where's her partner at? And I'm like, dude, I don't see her in this episode. And it took me a
And
week. I was
she's
like,
crying.
oh, right.
Yeah, because she lost her partner in the battle.
Yeah.
Oh, like the whole Genosha thing was so devastating, and they're still hitting you with that. Even this episode, like when they find Emma and Cyclops is just shedding, they're all cheering and shedding tears because they found one more. Like it's so reminiscent of the 9/11 stuff. Like,
Agreed.
100%.
And Emma's impressive because she still had her lipstick applied.
Yes, man, she hold on to that.
well, I'll tell
We
you.
also
I'll tell you why.
I've always done well. Under pressure.
Oh my god! Yeah,
This guy did clip.
we need a pun right at that time.
That's why I'm here. I'm just here for the puns.
So anyway, we see Rogue going on the next step for journey, trying to find Trask. We gotta get through this episode at some point, guys.
We'll see how she goes.
So she gets to the next spot, which is in somewhere north, because I'm assuming based on the ice and snow, in which she is attacked with a shield. Not really attacked, but a shield is sort of
they
thrown at her.
usually send all the like psycho powerfully people like Abomination Hulk to like Alaska or Canadian Arctic.
Well, she's looking for Gyrick, who's moved out of Rikers to here. And, then she's approached by Captain America, who is saying it's not just a mutant tragedy, it's like a humanitarian tragedy.
Well, we not just mad. We skipped one thing.
I can't hear that, Devin.
What?
Grief's a lonely war.
Nothing?
It's like a whisper that it came back. There we go.
Oh my god, why am I sound effects?
Yeah, I said that earlier. I
All
said
right.
Jubilee's upset, and then they noticed that Rogue, though she mentions that Rogue isn't there.
No, but I'm saying, but Nightcrawler says like
That wasn't in the
Wolverine
clip you
missed-
played. I barely heard it, but it was when Jubilee was crying because.
Yeah, but that leads right. It's the same clip. All right, here, let's do it this time. Can you hear it this time? Is that
No.
better?
No.
What is happening?
Grief's
Okay.
a lonely war. Rogue's
Like
gotta
the
figure it
Wolverine
out
part
on
comes in
her own.
okay, but the rest doesn't.
Oh,
And there's no
well,
Nightcrawler
that's-
part.
Oh, did I skip the Nightcrawler part? Oh no, here it is.
What she battles is not mere grief. And our dear Jubilee is wise to be afraid.
She's now clear as the day. She's basically right now pulling what was his name from Twilight? Peterson, Batman, she's full of anger right now, and that's deadly for her.
Yeah, exactly. Anger and grief. Yeah, anger and grief for sure. It's definitely the anger part. And it's like it's the one time ever that Wolverine is spared all that shit. Usually Wolverine's at the heart of all the.
Well, Wolverine's been through too much of this stuff. He has no tears to shed. His entire existence is a lie. But you guys know this, and it's sad. He's used to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rogue catches up with Captain America, who is sent there to intercept her on her revenge mission.
Nice.
They have a little interaction.
Can I mention something about that? Listen to this, fellas. Can you hear this?
Nothing.
It's Tuesday. It happens.
No voice clips, Davin, this time. Then that's fine.
Apparently.
So we find out that Gyrick was part of some shadowy government agency that nobody really knows about. That it was shipped out of this facility to Mexico City. We see OZT on a lot of boxes all over the place. That was part of the operation. It's not referenced what those letters stand for, but those of us who know the comics, as Davin mentioned earlier, it stands for Operation Zero Tolerance, which is
sure does.
part of what's going on here. So Cap, she wants Cap.
Rogue.
Yeah.
Right now.
I heard by the book right now, and that's it.
Did you hear this sound effect?
Nope.
I already know where he's going with it. They used the actual I'm sorry, Deb. They used the actual MCU shield sound when he threw it in front of Rogue.
Yeah.
But
I caught that right away.
I wanted to mention about that. I can't believe it's not coming in. Why is
Also, the actor that does the voice for Captain America.
I know what's happening.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, I know.
We're back to the old game of troubleshooting with Devin when doing these.
No, it's Control-Alt-Delete on your left.
No,
Just let it
Your
go,
other left.
man.
I got this. No, I got this.
Some of us would like to go to bed at some point this evening.
All right. I think I fixed this problem.
There it is.
Yes. Okay. So
Pick any win, folks. Any win.
No, it's like if you click on that reduce background noise thing on StreamYard, it starts cutting out my sound effects.
It's very true.
So, I gotta stop doing that. That sound effect, like I've looked at the visual interpretation of sound because I go make these sound effects, right, of every episode of the last series and this series. And the only sound effect or piece of audio in any of these series so far that looks different, completely different on both ends of the stereo setting is that sound effect of that shield. Like the upper track and the lower track of the stereo setting of that shield throw sound completely different, and that's why it sounds so thick and so so good. Like,
no, it's good research.
It's everywhere. It's different on both sides, and it's like 3D. That's a 3D sound right there. That's good stuff. That's what I wanted to say about that. All right.
Cool. So, Captain America, she wants him to join her on the mission to help out. He said they got to do this one by the book. You know, if a guy wearing an American flag shows up in Mexico City and starts busting heads, that's going to be terrible for the
I got that one too.
This uniform shows up in Mexico bashing heads in with you. It sends a message.
Damn right that you stand with mutants.
I just wanted the rogue part. Damn right. Let's do it. Let's go, Cap. Woo!
Wait, let me look for an object.
He's like,
let me look for an
object.
object.
Hanging, Cap?
She was like this, like, you stand for mutants. Look at my hands, right? It's coming, folks. But go ahead, you guys got this.
When he says he can't help, she pulls the shield and says, "Well, I guess if you're not representing this, you won't be needing this, or you're not going to help us." And
look at my face. You don't say.
Hurls the old
rogue. Right now, my hands are tied.
Well, if your hands are tied, you won't be needing this.
Freaking Lenore, dude.
Throws away off into the mountains, far away from him. And
the largest discus throw of all the country, folks.
Oh yeah, it just
Pretty
disappears. But my favorite thing about that scene, though, if you look, there's a split second, or it might even be about a second long. Like she throws the shield and she looks back at Cap, and her face completely changes because she just realizes she just threw Captain America's shield super far away where he won't be able to find it. And she's like, for a second, she felt like kind of bad about that. And then her face switches back, but for like a second, she's just like,
No, she contemplated. I thought I was by myself on that.
She's like, shit.
Sorry, but she was like floating around like, she's like, sorry, Cap. Yeah. Crap, did I just do that? Screw it, too late now.
Shit.
Right.
Like, yeah. Oh, it's so good. The details in this show.
The details.
A lot of lovely details. So she hurls
the writers are so
mountains.
In sync with the animation.
Yeah.
So it's also in sync. But, yeah.
Well, it's definitely a good guiding hand that keeps this all linked. So yeah, she throws the shield up. What are we looking at this for now?
Because, rest in peace.
Okay. Yeah. It's 40 minutes later. Thank you. At the
appropriate time. You know how I do things.
So poorly.
All of my sound effects have been chronological so far. That's pretty
Yes, but they also cut me off and you don't give me any warning like I've asked you to do several times that you're going to play them.
Oh, yeah, I'm bad at that.
Anyway. So she throws the shield off into the mountains and then Captain America watches, angrily as she takes off. Fun side note, the voice of Captain America is the same voice from the What If series. So, they're keeping some connection.
Oh,
the other guy's
really?
voice on What If's the same Captain America.
I'm with them. I'm in Devin on that. Now I'm calling you out. You sure? I'm impressed. Yeah. I didn't know that.
You can IMDb it.
I believe you.
Because to me,
yeah.
No,
he's Steve Rogers, Rogers Hood, the Hydra Stomper, all 7 episodes of What If.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
What? See, to me, he doesn't sound like Cap really in this.
Well, the one
that's,
really
that's
did
why
in
I'm
What
voice
If,
acting.
Like he just sounds a little odd in this.
It's voice acting.
It's
a different version. It's not. I mean, the What If Captain America isn't Chris Evans, so you know.
No, but the What If one sort of sounds like Chris Evans, but this one in this episode doesn't.
Now it'd be kind of cool if the original
sound like the same.
Well, yeah, but he might not be trying to sound the same as he did in What If. He might be
now,
trying
guys,
to be
it might
a
be
more
cool
comic book version of Captain America.
Sorry, it may be cool if it's the same Captain America that was in the original series when Wolverine had that flashback. But
that was Lawrence Bane.
No, that was Lawrence Bane.
Okay, making sure. Hey, I'm just making sure.
No, he's had 2 roles already in this series. That
he was Eric the Red as well.
He and Cable.
Right. So
did not know that.
Now he's the executioner. He's the executioner in this, so he's still on the cast. But now, why he's not those other characters?
We cut to a wide shot of various mutants helping out in the disaster relief in Genosha. We see Multiple Man off in the distance, a bunch of him unloading boxes. We see the guy with 4 arms. Is it Forearm is his name? The guy with 4 arms?
Forearm.
Yeah.
It
literally
is.
Yeah, right.
And like a green guy that I know if I can see the front of him. He kind of looks like a frog. It's hard to see. It's not Toad.
Oh, yeah. No, he's the guy from the Savage. He's like a Savage Land mutate, isn't he?
Yeah, I think
so.
Oh,
you talking about the frog-looking guy?
Yeah.
Amphibious. You're welcome.
Amphibious. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we see Jubilee and Sunspot lifting boxes, and then strong guy who's lifting a massive pallet full of boxes puts another box on top of Sunspot's one box. tells him he better start bulking up because there's a war coming.
Sunspot lifting boxes.
Well, I love seeing strong guy again. It's pretty great.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Fun fact, also voiced by Aid Huff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Cool. Which is incredible voice acting. Listen to Nightcrawler and then listen to Guido there and be like, that's the same guy? Like
Guido there.
I
love Guido. I'm a strong guy fan.
I still think Guido is not a great name.
That's his name. His name's Guido.
Yeah, but it's like a slur for Italian people.
But it's his first name.
Okay.
I believe I'm not touching that one.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know how woke we need to be on this, but the idea of it's
he's always Guido to me, so we're not going to.
It's something that's said in a derogatory way towards Italian folks. So I don't know.
I'm tolerable. I'm messy as hell, guys. Like black guy. You know,
oh,
I'm like
100%.
I think it's cool. I want to point out on that note where on the same scene, one of my clip notes, that's damn it. I keep calling him Sunspire because he has an alternative.
I like Sunspire better as a character.
Yeah, me too. Brian, I want to say that he was like, Jubilee, I can't go to my parents, and Jubilee still. I think it's cool that she's playing the role that Storm and Rogue played with her. I'm trying to make them realize it's okay to be a mutant. I mean, I'm sure you guys picked it up by now. Like, you need to tell your parents.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's obvious, but you need to tell your parents. Wouldn't they be worried about you if you were in this rubble? And he makes a good counterpoint, like Jubilee. Like, look what happens when we put ourselves in display. It's like, it's sound. Like, I love the debates on this show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Agreed. So Jubilee and Sunspot has a talk in which Jubilee basically puts a hard guilt trip on Sunspot for not just saying how she would hate for her parents to find out she was a mutant after she died. They're like, oh, your son was a mutant and he died in Genosha. Like, how horrible that'd be for your parents to discover this information.
Her parents knew because she kept blowing up the VCRs.
Yes, they had to go. The VCR budget was through the roof. The VCRs were expensive in the early 90s.
Yeah, at least $100.
That's right.
Stateside too.
Yeah. So then we see a nice nod to.
No, we pay more than you guys. You guys have way better prices for stuff than us. Oh, yeah.
We see the girl with the multicolored hair from the previous episode lighting a candle for the Morlocks. We see it's a picture of Callisto and Leech, who may not be dead now. Oh no,
Callisto may not have powers because they never work in this series. That's another nitpick.
Callisto's definitely dead, but Leech might still be alive, which is fun, which is nice.
I mean,
whoever was with Magneto is still alive.
Right, well, he was literally underneath Magneto. I'm like, he has to have some serious terrible luck.
That was my theory originally, where like Magneto says to him in German, "Do not be afraid." You could take that as in he's telling him not to be afraid of death, but to me, he would never say that to a child. And he was telling him, "Do not be afraid because I'm going to save you right now." That's what I think he was saying.
Well, we'll find out. I think it was all an elaborate ruse from Bastion to begin with.
He's an Omega level mutant, and when he needs to do something a little bit more and a little bit further, he can. That's what Omega level.
I think he was meant to. The world is meant to think he's dead because it's part of Bastion's plan. But we'll find out.
Definitely, it's part of Bastion's plan. He's
but Magneto didn't.
Love Bastion.
But Magneto didn't like get out of it and then get captured by Bastion. Bastion got him as part of the way he wanted to get him. So he wasn't telling. He wasn't telling. No, I don't think so. We'll find out.
No, I think he found him.
No, I disagree. We'll find out. And where are the others?
We will find out.
He captured all of them together because they're all with Magneto. So, assuming the others are still alive, the other more.
We don't know that like Leech and all them are with Bastion and stuff, though.
Well, if they weren't, where are they?
That's what I'm saying.
No, but the way you're positing it is that Magneto saved them all and then got captured by Bastion afterwards.
Yep.
So where did they go?
Like all like knocked out and shit.
They would. Bastion captured all of them at once, and whenever Magneto comes out from wherever he's at, you'll find the Morlocks too. That's what I believe.
Like Sinister probably has the rest of them. Sinister would experiment on
maybe so, but they were captured. All captured. My theory, what I believe happened is Bastion orchestrated this to take all of them, to take Magneto. He got the other ones, and then did something. We'll find out.
That was my clipped up number 4.
Sinister's got
yes. Maybe, but you're positing that Magneto rescued them and then got captured by Bastion.
Yes.
I think he captured 100%. All of them in one.
So how about this? In order for the Sinister crew to take the Murlocs and Magneto, they have to take them as a whole, considering how close proximity that Magneto.
So if Magneto had just saved them, they would be out there. We know that where they are right now.
So your theory is Bastion saved them.
Well, he captured all of them at once. He didn't want to kill Magneto, and
so he saved them from the Sentinels. Though,
and besides, you know what?
In that moment, Bastion
not saved them, but made it look like the Sentinel had killed them.
And besides, you had to. You know why? Let's say they took Magneto by himself. They didn't want no witnesses telling the X-Men they're in play.
Well,
he had to take them all at once.
I'm assuming the other Morlocks will find them in a cell somewhere at the end of whatever happens in the next few episodes.
They have bad luck getting captured a lot.
Yeah, they sure do. But
anyway.
I mean, no one gets kidnapped more than Jubilee. Like, she could they do a TED Talk on being kidnapped.
You know what, dude? Sorry.
Yeah, and we see Beast take a darker turn, which is nice, where, Trish Toby mentions, like, something about tolerance, which is a word.
Yeah.
Tolerance is an interesting word, especially in relation to a marginalized part of society, because tolerate, it just means we don't like you, but we have to put up with you.
Yeah,
instead
it's
of
not
celebrating
a virtue. It gets used as a virtue, and it drives me insane. People are like, "No, we're tolerant people," as if that's a good thing. It's just like, no,
I absolutely agree with you guys.
Tolerant is
not like, accepting anyone.
Tolerant is as low as the bar can go before being negative. Like it's literally just a step above saying, It's like saying I don't want these people in my neighborhood.
It's just like I'm indifferent to my hatred.
A step above that is I don't want them here, but I'll accept that they're here. So.
It's like what Magnus said in episode 2, 1, whatever. He's like, dude, we're not asking. When he's like, "Let me let you down," he said, "I'm not asking you guys to hold our hands and kumbaya. We just want to live. Just all of it."
And then
the Magneto dialogue's been
so she mentions that, and Beast fires back by saying, perhaps Magneto was correct in that we have lost too much in begging for your tolerance. And she says she didn't mean it that way.
When the Beast of this series starts to lose hope, things are getting bad because he's kind of like the eternal optimist in this series.
Yeah, and he sees, we see that girl turn into a parrot, the girl that had the multicolored hair, and fly off. So Bishop or Beast says he's got to go. He doesn't want to waste any more of her tolerance. I love how how psychopaths in movies also always need to, instead of just being human psychopaths, they need to have some overt hobby to really hammer home the fact that
butterfly collection.
Yeah, so it's just one of those like overt.
They have to be obsessive, right?
In some way. So we see that Gyrick is alive and well and apparently doing what he wants, and in Mexico with a whole bug collection. Like he kills bugs and preserves them on display. That's way ahead of it yet, buddy. Let's not go putting that stuff out here yet. So
the rogue flies up real quick, and she was like, "This isn't a prison. This is a goddamn palace. It's a what did she say?
Yeah.
I'm ad-libbing. This is a Embassy Suites or what's it called? It's a Hilton Grand Vacation or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So Rogue says like he says something like he's going to be stronger than what like he's put mental things in place to stop people like Jean Grey getting his thoughts, and she says this isn't an interrogation and just uses her powers to basically take his memories. I
like that. Like you're supposed to be the good guy. She's like, "Nah, you killed them. You just have me now."
Yeah, which is nice. It's a great episode.
And Rogue is that character. Like she's a hero, 100%. But like, don't cross her, man. Like she will step over the line and like worry about it later. Like my favorite character ever, Ben Sisko there. Yeah. She
there's a nice moment between Scott and Jean that are kind of fixing up their relationship a bit, where she says like, they've been through so much, where she became this, she became that, she became Dark Phoenix, and Cyclops says you always came back. When she's using her powers to try to find the memories of people or get some psychic imprints, and she gets one of a telepath that's alive, and they dig through the rubble and find that it is the White Queen, Emma Frost, who has apparently initiated her second mutation, which is taking a diamond form, which she hasn't done in the show yet.
Yeah, no one has. That's the first instance we've seen of secondary mutation.
Yeah, which might come in. We might see Beast change his form, although I do really like how he looks in this.
Which is from your beloved Morrison run. There,
yes,
Andre.
Yeah, it's true. It's like, well, honestly, to go even deeper, it is from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the season 8, I think, of the original run, when they would second mutate and become like Hulk monsters with like there was that human
those action figures.
There was that human with him, Carter, that also would got some mutagen on him, and he would also like double mutate. It wouldn't just singly mutate into like a kind of a big monster. Yeah, that's when they fought Lord Dreg, the alien, instead of Shredder.
Yeah, Lord Dreg, the bug guy.
I always thought that was a separate show, but it was actually like the 8th season of the original show, or 9th season, when they got to that point. But it's very strange.
Oh, the 90s.
But let's not forget about the wonderful Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation live action show from Fox, where they introduced Venus de Milo, and it was all live action. And Dragon Lord was all correctly. And it had crossover episodes with Power Rangers in Space. What a time to be alive.
Anyway, this was a simpler time. The 90s were a simpler time, man.
A better time.
Well, look, that Ninja Turtles original movie was amazing.
The first one,
The original live action one was amazing. Amazing.
That was the second one.
That's the second one.
Yeah, that's so great.
That's not as amazing.
No, sorry. Part one was better.
The first one was serious. It was like dead serious. It was played.
First one wasn't serious. The first one
is that when Casey Jones pulled that garbage disposal? Oops.
Yeah, that's
just like I got to know what a crumpet is to play cricket. That's that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first one actually was up until for quite a while the highest grossing independent film of all time, because it was
really
in
wow.
Yeah,
I would assumed it was a major studio just because like the prosthetics are so good. The turtles look so good.
It was supposed to be, and then it wasn't, and then they went forward with it anyway, and it made a buttload of money.
Jamil's here. Oh yeah, Jamil doesn't want more Morrison.
Jamil, stop it!
I blink.
Jamil doesn't like.
Jamil likes to pick on Andre a little bit about Grant Morrison. That's fine. That's fine. I'm more on the Jamil side. I'm like somewhere between the two of them. But,
well, you see, Courtney, some people don't enjoy adult, realistic, serious storylines that go into whole issues with relationships and do meticulous meditations on death and life.
Not quite.
And all those wonderful, dark, heady, existentialist themes that some folks don't want to go into. They prefer much simpler fare. The things designed for children and the mentally deficient.
Jamil sent me this in the mail today. Thank you, Jamil.
I have one of those of Galactus and the Silver Surfer.
They're bobbleheads.
Yeah. I have one of Galactus and the Silver Surfer.
That's cool.
Let me see.
Hey, Sentinel, does Grant Morrison do the best X-Men run?
He just said
that Sentinel, like you, are a puppet towards the corporate America.
Puppet. A fascist puppet.
Speaking of snowboarding stuff, I got your guys' sticker logos in the mail. I know exactly where to put them in my studio. Appreciate it, by the way.
Oh, good. Show us where they're at. I'd love to see where they're at in the wild.
No, it's painting. I'm building the whole thing from scratch. That's why I'm in here. Yeah, I got all my whoever I teamed up with, their logos on one side of the wall. You'll see it next time we team up. Yeah, all their logos pretty cool.
Cool.
Jamil's coming to confront you on
That
it.
seems like a threat. It's fine.
You're gonna have it out. You're gonna have it out.
I actually don't like to I was just goofing around, but I mean whatever. Everybody. I'm trying to be everybody's favorite thing is their favorite thing for a reason, and whatever reason you have for loving your thing, that's great. Love that. Just don't degrade the other person's thing. You know, I love Grant Morrison's run. Let me love it. You don't have to come at me and be like,
no, Andre, it was too much black leather. Too much. Black leather.
Okay. So the costumes bothered you. The rest of the story is disposable, but the fact they had black costumes is what makes it not redeemable to you.
I don't know. If someone could go back and like redraw it, I might have a better. You know how I don't like quietly squishy faces.
Yeah, but he doesn't do a lot of it. Like he does
the whole thing.
There. No,
well, maybe not near the end. Not near the end.
Ethan Van Sciver did a bunch of it before he got kicked off, or you hiding the word "sex" in an issue everywhere.
I have that issue signed by him.
That's funny.
But he's a problematic figure these days as well.
Problematic.
But
plus Chris Bacalo did a bunch of them. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. The guy did Spider-Man work.
Yeah, Bacalo. Yeah,
Bacalo. Yeah, like there's a bunch of different artists in the series. So anyway, we cut to Sunspot finally going with Jubilee to tell his mom. Well, first the X-Men get a message from Bolivar Trask saying that he'd never intended for this to happen. This was not what he wanted, and he wants a chance to explain himself to the X-Men in a real Deus Ex Machina moment.
I like the way that Morph. Wait, are we in the same scene? Yeah, Morph was like, "I would like to point." He got a sippy cup. He's I would like to point out that we're obviously going into a trap. So we're going into a trap. Okay.
Well, that's what it gets. I mean, if you think about it, I have to go back to the other episodes. Trask usually was all about using the Sentinels to capture mutants, although they did supposedly kill Morph, but maybe that was why they didn't kill him, was they're trying to capture him. And it's only when Master Mold sort of went beyond his programming that he tried to do his own thing, when Gygrick and Trask were, out of control.
Mutants are human.
Yeah. Well, now that you say it, I could kind of save it for an X point, but I'll say it now. I think that's going to come back around. I think we're going to find out that Nimrod was made from Morph's DNA, whereas in the movies it was from Mystique's DNA.
Right.
I think they'll probably do that. So
they never even did a Nimrod. It was just the Sentinels used Mystique's DNA.
No, it was the Nimrod Sentinels in the movies.
Do they call them Nimrod Sentinels?
They don't call them that, but that's what they are in Days of Future Past.
They're just Sentinels.
So if a Sentinel can take your powers, that's a Nimrod Sentinel.
Well, not in a world where Nimrod doesn't exist, Evan.
Look, they don't need to call it that for it to be that.
Well, you're correcting me saying that they're called Nimrod Sentinels when they're not. Like
they're Nimrod Sentinels. Like, back me up in the chat, everybody.
Wait, sorry about that. What was that? Back you up with what now?
Oh, he's saying that they're Nimrod Sentinels, which is fine. I'm just saying they have
in the movies.
They have the powers and everything. They're just not called.
CJ.
That was on me. My bad, guys.
That's okay. I'm saying that in the movies they're not called Nimrod Sentinels because Nimrod.
No, they don't call them that. I concede that point.
Yes, well, by definition, within the world of the movie that they are featured in, they would be Sentinels with adaptive powers. It would be called Nimrod.
No, but
is the Nimrod name a coincidence? Because even my knowledge isn't that good. I'll be honest with you. I can't sign on this.
No, he just Nimrod wasn't in the X-Men movies.
Oh, okay.
It's just the powers of those Sentinels were similar to his. Like he could adapt and copy everybody
else. Okay.
Yeah. Although Nimrod in the series was the one from the future that Bishop and Cable stopped, right? Or no? Yeah, the Bishop and Cable.
No, you said it right. Yeah, the Bishop era timeline, but Cable never encountered Nimrod. I don't think.
Right, he's more obsessed with Apocalypse.
Right. Yes, that's right. But there was the end of season 2 in which Bishop and Cable were there, right? Because they were overlapping on their time travel.
That I do. I was just talking to Devin about this. So Bishop came to eliminate. Okay, there was two. Dang it. There was 2 levels of this. Okay, so Bishop came to.
Cable's timeline is further than Bishop's.
Right.
Yeah,
no, that I do. Yeah, but Bishop came by to stop. But Cable came by to stop Bishop from to teaming up with the X-Men versus eliminating them, because at one point Cable had to let the X-Men die in order to save his future.
Whew. He had to let Apocalypse win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that. He's like, yeah.
Yep. I was doing the math.
Time travel.
I had to. You're right. Because he wanted Cable. No, he wanted originally Bishop saved the X. Stop. Okay. Originally, Bishop wanted to kill.
He has that line. He's like, I can't believe I have to let Apocalypse win.
Right,
That's one of my favorite lines,
right.
and it's one that always stuck with me from when I watched the cartoon.
Andre loves that line.
Where he's like, I can't help Apocalypse.
That line was dramatic, though. I can't like he's arguing with the computer like it's a person. I can't help Apocalypse. You know, like it was that bad. And in order to save my future, I have to help destroy the past one, which was the coldest line ever.
Oh man, being a time traveler is heavy. But anyway, continue, Andre.
So then we see Sunspot along with Jubilee coming out to his mom as a mutant. His mom saying that they always knew the whole time. And then her mom, so then he's sort of relieved that he doesn't have to live this lie anymore. Then his mom quickly follows up by saying, now we just got to figure out how to keep this a secret from everyone else. And him realizing that, of course, the nature of his abilities. So yeah, it's
not nice.
you first, D. You first, D, because I'm gonna be on a rant.
No, you go first because I feel like I'm gonna go a little farther with
that.
So
triggered the hell out of me. She was like polishing something. Yes, I know he's a mutant, and both him or Jubilee like, you did? Yeah, of course. Come on, VCR's blowing up out of nowhere. Why do you think I'm dumb? We just have to keep it a secret. That's all. She's polishing her damn diamonds or whatever, and. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude,
she was drinking wine. She was just getting drunk.
Yeah, right.
It's day drinking while your son tells you like his biggest revelation of his life.
Yeah,
that was it. That triggered me. Like, dude, that took a lot of courage, and now you want to keep it a secret? Like, wow. Yeah. Like, your services are no longer required, Jubilee. We'll have to distance ourselves from you from the here on out. Together, time, future. Yeah, that episode. Okay, and Beyond Good and Evil. I forgot they teamed up twice. Beyond Good and Evil. When he kidnapped all the psychics. I remember that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that's right.
But for me, that goes even further than that. Yes, it's like very much an analog to like people trying to hide that they have gay family members and that type of thing in that scene. But to me, due to my own nitpicks of society, or pet peeves about society, what that really speaks to is the business mentality. Like I would like, the last thing I want for my children is for them to join a church or go to business school. And the reason I don't want them to go to business school or church is because both detach you, in my mind, from your morality. And like people have this separate business morality that they're like, well, that's not the rest of my life. Like, I can be a cutthroat motherfucker in business, but that doesn't mean I'm a cutthroat motherfucker. It's just like, no, yes, it does, actually. Yes, it does. Life is life, and the world is the world. And so that's what that speaks to me. She has this business mentality. She's like, no, I'm not being insensitive to my son because I just told him I accept him. But now that we're talking about business, my morality is now separate from myself. And now we're talking about business. So that's like, no, you don't get to separate yourself from yourself ever. Chill. That's my rant.
I'm a mic drop on this and make this quick. A little backstory about me. My dad, I renounced my father because he was a vice president of a casino out here in Vegas. Won't be named for legal reasons. The short version is like, dude, I want you to help run the business. I said no. I want to, teach.
Well, you froze up. Uh-oh, we lost CJ.
Still froze. Oh, man, that's going to be a good story.
Yeah, I know. We'll come back to that.
he froze it like such a...
I know, he froze it like such a dramatic moment. Are you doing this on purpose, C-Jack?
You good if you did. You just froze it right there.
Let me just take that out and put it back in. Well, he'll be back. We'll pick that story up in a minute.
Then you'll see. You'll remember you belong to me.
He's still frozen down there. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Well, we can keep rolling along and get him back in when we can. I'd like to hear the rest of that story.
Yeah.
So we see Rogue, Nightcrawler catch up with Rogue in Mexico. Basically, I'm guessing to pick her up with the rest of the X-Men so they can go on to their mission. In which they have a little heart-to-heart where she says, even though Gambit's gone, she's not ready to forget him or to... Though I feel like that's a bit of a... Early in that conversation, she just lost him. But
it's like the first time they mentioned their sibling.
She says you drew the short straw on half sisters, or stepsister, and you know, she has a grief where she finally cries and stuff. And
all right, here we go. Let's get the rest of that story. She-Jack. You
Okay,
paused over the most dramatic friggin' pause ever. Like I accused you of doing it on purpose.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi was tripping. I signed out to sign back in. What part did I leave off on? Sorry.
Your father owned a casino, and you really want to be a teacher. Is that what I think?
Exactly. And he was like, "Well, that's what your mother wanted to do." Okay, well, that's what I wanted to do. He was like, "Okay, then I'm cutting you off." I'm like, "All right, so be it." He's like, "Dude, you want to be in an environment full of bleeding hearts? It's for fools." You know what about that? Was his? He was an elitist. Yes, my father was.
Teacher's such a noble profession. My mother was a teacher. Like teachers, like that's a noble profession, man.
And that was it. I'm like, so be it. Said no to an empire.
Man.
Well, good on you, man.
Good on you, man. That's tough.
Yeah, you know.
No regrets.
Well, you know, it sucks when you have to detach from your family, but sometimes for your own good, it's the best way to go.
Yeah, but steering away from me though. But yeah, she was like, "You're right, Dev." She said it wouldn't look good for the shareholders. I'm like, you go right to the throat, back to the business mode. Like he just spilled his guts about it.
What do shareholders care? If you're like, my son wants to be a teacher, what does that matter?
Yeah.
And they do tell them to get a life. It's just like you guys are shareholders. What do you care about my family? Like, what are you guys doing here? Like, yeah, seriously. Oh man.
Well, then we cut to Gyrick, who is recovering from his assault by Storm, and then a mysterious figure comes in and puts his glasses back on his face and tells him that, you know, he's basically cost them their plans. Not cost them, but that, like, you know, his rashness and whatever is
loose end.
He's a loose end that they don't need anymore, and then he gets smothered with a pillow by this guy, who we all know is Bastion at this point, so I'll just say
Which blew one of my theories. I thought for sure Gyrick was a Prime Sentinel.
But the thing too, which is hilarious, is like Bastion is essentially a Sentinel. So he has crazy
Prime Sentinel.
But why smother him with a pillow? Unless they're trying to make it look like an accident or something.
Yeah, it's espionage 101 to make it look like it was by liable hands. He could have just eliminated him with a snap or a proton blast. But you know, knowing Hank, everything leaves an ion trail. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. So he just did it, which is pretty clever. He kept it down to a human level.
I guess, but like the X-Men
it makes it look like it's anybody but Bastion that did it.
But the X-Men wouldn't be investigating the death of Henry Gyrick. He's on a government facility.
No, but somebody will.
And the government program is being run by Bastion.
Well, the Avengers are already on his trail anyway.
Yeah, he does have Cap on his trail. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so. So anyway, Gyrick is killed, murdered by Bastion with a pillow. We do cut to, I'm not sure where exactly. Do they say where the X-Men are? Are they in Japan or something? Where
Judging from
they
certain
do say.
Wait, when they're investigating when they went to the lead, I want to make sure I'm not getting ahead.
Yeah, when they went to go find,
it looks like, and here comes my Easter eggs. They went to NY, New York.
New York, okay.
Yeah, it's just very bright and neon-y, but I guess that's supposed to be New York. No, well, there's signs that are in Japanese lettering on the.
Oh wait.
It could be Tokyo or something, because there's a lot of. I'm going to say it. There was Stark Tower. There was Hammer.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's Japanese. Horizon is on the hats of some of the people that are knocked out in the building. Yeah. And it does. There's buildings that are in There's quite a few billboards.
Very neon.
But the building they're going into has Japanese lettering on it.
Oh, I'm surprised I missed that. Then it has to be like Tokyo or Okinawa or something.
Yeah, I'm assuming Tokyo, but anyway. Mm-hmm. So they have we have the fun. You know, every action movie, almost not everyone, but even Wolverine Origins did this, where you have a big group of people trapped, like going in an elevator together, and it's like they have a little moment where they pause and all the people crammed in the elevator going up. And
blow up, and they were all in the
which elevator. Courtney's doing when they're all just like looking tough, standing in the elevator, and Morph is just sipping loudly from his cup behind them.
Let me see if I can do it. Wait,
Morph's fantastic. I gotta say.
Anyway, yeah,
it's like the soda machine never runs out of diet.
Yeah,
which is a clever. Yeah, the entrance inside of a soda machine, hit the diet button. Nobody hits the diet.
Yeah,
Morph's like, sweet, it never runs out of diet. He's just like sipping the diet afterwards.
Yeah, so that was something he told them when he called, and that's because when they get there, everyone's knocked out in the building, and they when you go for the diet, which is funny because what if Madripoor?
Madripoor,
They did, yeah,
is it
you're right.
Madripoor though?
Yes,
Is
yes.
it
No, he's
Madripoor?
right. He's right.
Thank
he's right.
you.
Did they
Yes,
say
thank
it
you.
was Madripoor?
They did. They did.
Yeah, they
yes.
did.
Oh
Now,
my God, we've
triggered-
been to Madripoor. Yep, Jameel confirms.
Yeah,
What?
It triggered me.
Cyclops
How did
said
I
it
miss
too,
that? How did I
Same.
miss that?
Sorry. It triggered me, though.
Can't-
Yep, he's right.
I can't believe I missed Madripoor. Oh my God.
No, he did.
They're not in.
mention it
They're in
several times.
Hightown, obviously.
No, they
Lowtown
said it out loud.
Madripoor
I just
looks
forgot about
entirely
it.
Different.
Yeah, me too. They
Yeah.
definitely said it.
That's Hightown Madripoor.
Damn.
No, I don't
Anyway,
know.
yeah, that's gonna hurt
Which is
me.
a fun nod. Maybe we'll get some Wolverine Madripoor stuff at some point,
Oh,
or maybe this is
I'm
as
all
far
here
as they're going
for
to
it.
go with it.
There was Stark. There was, of course, Hammer. Wherever Stark goes, Hammer goes. And then there was an Exxon company. I had to Google that. There probably some knockoff Exxon company in the Marvel
Roxxon.
comic. What?
It's Roxxon.
Roxxon. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
And
the
that's-
Exxon Marvel comic equivalent.
And that's all I saw.
They're run by Dario Agger, who turns into a Minotaur.
Huh. One of those sub-villain characters.
Mm-hmm.
So, they believe this was a UN-related thing because B says is when the UN have.
Oh
a secret.
my, MZ. That's a theory. Sorry to interrupt, Andre, but that's
That's
a
possible.
theory.
That would be interesting and horrifying.
More for Jean being a Prime Sentinel, that would be devastating. Oh my.
Well, we'll find
Who
out.
I feel
knows
like
what
enough
Sinister-
has happened to Morph already.
Well, who knows
And
what happened?
Jean,
What
for that
Sinister
matter.
did to him? Myra McTaggart only healed his mind. His body, that's a different story.
Yeah, and he has crazy powers now. Like he can copy people's superpowers and stuff. It's like we have to catch up on what happened to
Okay.
Morph.
Sidebar about that. Can he mimic people, or he can actually do their powers? I did not know that. I
Now
thought
he can do their powers.
Right.
But I think in the original series, I don't. But no, in the original series, he did that as well, but only after he came back from being
correct.
experimented on by Sinister, because he turns into a Mega Red and he flips over a Sentinel. So
Yeah, and he took off
his
a Sentinel's head and he flew, saved. Yeah.
But we've only ever seen him do that kind of crazy stuff after Sinister's experiments. But I don't know, because that's crazy. He's so OP right now, it's ridiculous. He turns into Andre's favorite, Quicksilver. He turns into friggin' Quicksilver.
My boy went. Yeah. Anyway,
I'd like to see Quicksilver to get another episode. We only got him briefly in the one where he found out he's may need a son, but then again in why did I forget the name of the Phalanx episorld? But
Covenant, yeah.
But anyway, so Trask says that Sinister's behind everything. Morph puts two and two together that Sinister's making Sentinels, or a new kind of Sentinel. And then he says it's worse. It's something beyond that. And B says, well, the technology here is light years beyond anything that we have. How could he have access to this? And Trask says he doesn't know, but he's not going to let him turn him into any more of a monster than he already has. He just throw himself off the building and then get stopped by Rogue, who basically only stops him so that she can drop him and let him die.
Help us get the real bad guys.
I have nothing.
Same sugar.
Same sugar.
when that shadow over her lips, I was like, anime style, like, okay, I knew this guy's gonna die. He's like, are you sure that's all you got? You sure? Okay.
It's also funny that nobody tries to stop her. Like,
yeah,
Nightcrawler
we're in
could.
agreement here, right? That Jean Grey, Nightcrawler, and Morph also let Trask fall, right?
3 pliers, technically.
Oh yeah,
Well, a telekinetic flyer and a teleporter.
Technically.
Well, technically, Morph could probably be a teleporter. Morph can do friggin' anything.
Well, he could turn into. He did it several times. He could turn into Angel, Archangel, whatever Angel.
Yeah,
But hook him up. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So they all let him die.
If there's
Don't
one
get
thing this
judgy on
show
Rogue.
has really leaned hard into, which the previous version of the show never really did, was into the horror aspect of things, and they really do it well. The first Sinister episode did it super well. Elements of the Genosha episode do it super well, and elements of other episodes do it super, super well. But this one does it mega well because they're basically all like really upset with Rogue for letting him fall, basically to his death or pushing.
But they didn't do it. It was a long
I know.
fall. Nightcrawler totally could have.
Morph said,
It might have been tough for the other two.
But Rogue even says he let a good man die, her man, which is funny because it's
Yep.
like I didn't want him until I did want him, and then it was too late. It's like, well,
Rogue.
You had, I know. It's like he was my man. It's like, well, he could have been. Way before.
I'll put a pin on that. I'll put a pin on that for now.
Well,
but
that's the
Morph
tragedy
said,
of it. It's
for now.
just good fiction, right?
But Morph said, and I quote, "Is this who we are now?"
Yeah.
Sorry, but bitch, you could have flew and got the guy. Are you
No,
serious
Morph
right
says
now?
that. Yeah, Morph says that.
Yeah. And which I love that Morph is sort of the conscience of the team, or at least the heart of it a little bit. So
yeah, and he kind of always was like.
Well, I mean, Jubilee
of all of them, he's the one who's not really a superhero. At least doesn't want to be. Kind of, he just wants to.
Jubilee
be a fun guy.
Was kind of before, but like they never really had to make such hard decisions or deal with the issues they're dealing with in this show.
And she still is, I guess.
But Morph kind of is like the comedic heart of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Consider what he had to go through. So then, while they're arguing, they hear like mutants, or I'm not quite sure what term it says, but like mutants targeted or something. The Sentinel voice, and then there's a huge explosion. They're all knocked out and stuff, and recovering from the explosion. Cyclops gets to his feet and helps others. Well, Beast helps Jean up. We see that Trask is some kind of a Sentinel human hybrid thing now that was activated upon his death. His eyes are glowing. He's sort of pink. There's circuitry that looks like the techno-organic virus from what was put into Cable. Mm-hmm. So, obviously that's connected with the
form asked you in the Sahara. How does it feel to be abandoned by the future?
Hint. Scott knows what that means. Because he heard it once before from Sinister. I looked that up.
Yeah.
And his obsession.
Right. He did.
See? His obsession with Jean and Scott is ridiculous, man. And then I want to point out something, unless you guys already. Scott was like, dude, this guy one-shot rogue. Okay? Do not pull no punches, and he was right for that.
Yeah, but we do get like every episode, like quite a few episodes of the show really go out of their way to actually show how powerful some of the abilities of these people are. I mean, Storm really did it in that first episode. This one really puts Jean Grey's abilities on display and shows how powerful she truly is. Just
I was like, I'll get this shit, and she's just like, nah, don't.
Like half a building is falling, and she's using her abilities to like telekinetically manipulate it away from everybody, and just throws it into the ocean.
I'm glad you said that. I would like to demonstrate one thing I was happy not to see.
Yeah, exactly.
That didn't happen.
The funny part is
there are like memes about that already. It's just like, Jean, you get the debris, I'll get the building, I'll get the debris, and she's just like, hold my beer.
One thing I just want to say too is, and this is like obviously it's not an oversight, but it's always funny to me, is so half of that building got split in half and was falling. Well, the X-Men walked into the building. They discovered that everybody in the building was knocked out. They're very likely it's probably a bunch of knocked out people in that half of the building. They just got thrown into the.
I didn't consider that.
Yeah,
they can swim.
Well, I mean, if you want to really rationalize it, they were all on the first floor, so maybe.
Yeah. I mean, look at Transformers the movie and died off scene.
In an emergency, you try to get off those top floors. So
well, maybe it was all the security guards were on the first floor, so maybe there's only nobody in the rest of the building and just the first floor. So who knows?
All right,
we'll see.
But anyway, this is where we get a big fight scene between Trask and the X-Men. We see Morph become Quicksilver. Is trying to hit him, but like Trask is ridiculously powerful, and this is where Cyclops says that he took Rogue down in one shot. Don't hold your punches, basically.
Yeah, no pulling the punches here.
I like how Cyclops covered Morph. It was good strategy. He uses optic blast while Morph ran over to him as Quicksilver.
Yep.
I picked that up.
Cyclops is so good at that shit. Like Cyclops is like.
He's a good strategist. I give him that. Still a dick. Yeah. But yeah.
Can be.
So this is the line that you played earlier, where Trask is dispatching all of them and basically Trask has Cyclops on the ground with his hand on him and says, I asked my inferior version of you, asked you in the desert, how to feel to be forgotten by the future, and it looks like he's going to kill him. But just as he's about to, we get a well-placed grenade that falls right beside them.
Electromagnetic cluster grenades are the quickest way to take these suckers down.
Cable? Take these suckers down. Potter's, I don't know if Potter's voice changed or just put an affectation, but he sounds really good in this role. I really like Cable's way before, but he does sound really gruff and grizzled, which is cool. He does sound like a grizzled Star Wars.
I kind of wanted to talk about that. Like, I do miss Lawrence's, because Lawrence definitely has established that Cable, like the wild man of Borneo. But like, this is good. Potter's Cable is good, and
it is good.
Lawrence,
I concur.
Lawrence is really good as Executioner. Like, I loved that episode with Executioner. He's just like,
he did a really good
job. So,
and then Cable, as you mentioned, says this is the only way to take advantage of these things. Cyclops says, "What the hell are you doing here?" Jean's powers go off the grid, and she senses that they are that he is Nathan.
All along, it can't be.
I like this.
Get out of my brain. You're not her.
You're not her.
Yeah,
you're
you're
not
not Mom.
Madeline Pryor.
Yeah, you're not Mom.
Like, yeah.
And then
That's
Cyclops
what's
realizes
serious. Yeah.
Cyclops realizes you're my son, and he says, "Son."
Let's skip the reunion, Dad.
Dad. I like how he says that.
Yeah. The guy who like didn't even want to see me off just is like, I can't be part of this, and just like
right. Are you disappointed as I am? No, anyway.
Yeah.
So then we cut to Sinister's working with Bastion. He says, like, you tipped our hand early by letting all this happen. Bastion says, like, seeing them tussle with the Gene Freaks gave them all this intel they need for his true final plan, which we've yet to see.
The X-Men will learn from this too, you blithering fool.
Blithering fool.
He still got it.
Yeah.
That robotic Edshu's voice is so good.
And I love how Sinister uses like old school words because he's like from like the like
when I hear just like what Andre said, just like when I hear that, it's like Starscream, you fool, the Transformer point. Yeah, old school. It took me back. Anyway.
Yeah.
So he mentions that Sinister and countless others have been trying to stop these guys since the 90s, since the early 90s.
92.
92.
Sinister. You and the villains of old have been failing since 92 to squash these pests. What you would do is my roadmap for what not to do.
Ouch. It's like, why are you working with him then if you think he's...
But then Sinister says you were one of those people. So this is where you're like, this is where you're putting together the Nimrod thing. Although technically the Nimrod thing was like, he was pulled back from the future because of what was going on. He didn't come here distinctly to stop the X-Men.
And Captain Obvious, that's when the X-Men premiere was in 92, but I'm sure you guys picked that up.
Oh, yeah.
But then he mentions that one of the satellites they have access to is picked up, of course, somehow, picked up stuff from the Shi'ar Empire, so they know that Charles is still alive. And he's coming back.
Our merry band of muties have been selling the world
He said that the merry band of muties have been selling the world a very big lie that Charles is dead. And so have I, he says. So then, we realize it's part of his plan. Then we see him go off to some place that he has, which is... like an old shop somewhere that has a record player in it. He puts on Purple People Eater, starts playing. And then we see that he has a captive that is in a barber chair that he starts shaving, which is his Magneto, who's still alive.
Simply listen and obey. See?
Can you guys hear this?
Born for this.
Yeah, and he talks about how when the skin is pliable,
the metaphor
under heat.
A metaphor
softens things.
A metaphor for what his whole plan is. So, and the voice work on this, he reminds me a little bit of Jeff Goldblum, just like the way he talks somewhat.
If Jeff Goldblum was evil,
yeah, like an evil,
really good,
and not using that affectation that Jeff Goldblum always does. But he's going to skin him.
I mean, technically, if he didn't apply a hot towel properly, it would be dry erasing somebody.
Maybe Magneto will be one of these Sentinels, these Prime Sentinels, or something. Who knows? But we will see. But so Bastion's master plan is coming to fruition, and we're going to find out.
He's so good. I love.
He's very good. The voice work on this is fantastic.
So good.
I must say.
Drop the weapon.
Oh, we also noticed Magneto has a collar on, so his powers are. That's how he's able to be.
Oh, that was the wrong theme. I jumped ahead on segments.
Didn't we? Isn't that the right one?
Each of us will have to look into his own heart and decide.
Decide. It's a 10.
Hey, real quick, on that scene that you just played before that, he was like, drop the... And Cable has these words, like the way he delivers. When Scott was like, drop the weapon, and Cable's like, no.
No.
Just straight up.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. He's so good.
Let's skip the family reunion, Dad.
Dad.
It's such disdain, too. It's so good. So good.
You're not.
Well, you're my father. Wow, you are in a grand central station of disappointment.
There's even like a little bit of sadness when he says you're not her. Because, obviously to him...
Yeah.
She's
a
dead.
Great tragedy of his is that he couldn't save her. He tried, but he couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So
this episode,
yeah,
as far as I'm concerned,
as much as we got into shit about whatever's earlier. This is deserved of a 10. It's a 10.
It's so good.
It's
like
very good.
Perfect television.
Yeah, I feel like the next 3 episodes are probably all going to be 10s too, but we'll see.
They will be. I played the theme already, so let's get into these X points. All right. Go ahead, Andre, while I fire up my telephone device.
Did anybody notice the license plate in Captain America's motorcycle?
No.
It read AVN A10, which is a reference to the Avengers Annual number 10, written by Chris Claremont. That was the first appearance of Rogue.
Well, shit. I did not notice that.
From October 1981 is that first issue. So, yeah, when she gets to the Arctic, there's a motorcycle that's caps off to the side and it has that license plate. So it's the fun little Easter egg.
All right. Do you have an X point for us, C. Jack?
I have one. Back in the Nintendo episode when they were playing on the console, there was a scene that it had Bruce Lee. You saw the silhouettes, and you know who it was. It didn't have his face. You saw who it was. And also in the game itself, they had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you had to go back in it, they had all the red. It wasn't the color ones, but the traditional in the video game in Nintendo. It had all the red bandanas, like was one of the cartridges in the background. But that's all I got.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't notice that. That's awesome.
That.
Yep.
I love that.
That's
game.
fun.
It's underrated. That first Turtles game.
Right.
100%.
All right. Well, I did want to point out that they brought back the Cable music.
They did. Who are you? The wild man of Borneo.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted him to say it again.
I know.
Whenever that music comes up.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The music is really good.
Borneo.
The music is so good in this.
Stupid dog. Yeah.
All right, back to you, Andre. That was my.
I got a few. So you only had the one CJ, so I'll go through the rest.
Oh no, that's all I got. It was. You guys are good.
Yeah. So we got 3. So next up is I had another content fun thing here.
Have a cream.
Oh yes, it was during
cruel intention.
Cruel torture. Yeah.
I mean, he is evil.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, he's so during the scene where Rogue attacks the U.S. military base. Eagle Eye viewers may notice that her attacks, all the ones she uses during this battle, are all the same ones she uses in X-Men versus Street Fighter and Marvel versus Capcom Clash of Superheroes. So all of those attacks are nods to the attack.
Oh
she does
my
in those
god!
You didn't pick up on that?
That
I'm surprised.
No, that's amazing.
She like had the spinning drill kick. Like, here we go.
Yeah.
What? Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's very cool. Like I said, I love that they're loving everything, not just the like. They're loving the original cartoon and then the things that came later that were homaging it then. So it's really nice.
Yep.
All right. Well, back to me then, I guess. Well, look, I just wanted to. They sort of did this when Cap comes in. They sort of did this Avengers style music. They should have just went all the way. I felt like they should have just did the Avengers.
Well, they certainly used the X-Men music in the.
Exactly. Like
they certainly used the X-Men theme
in
in the movies whenever anything Avenger or X-Men comes up.
I think it just would have given it that extra excitement.
Well, they used it when Xavier shows up in the Doctor Strange movie. They also used it in the.
But I'm talking about the Avengers theme.
Yeah, but I mean they use the X-Men thing in those, so
exactly.
why not, right?
Yeah, exactly. It would have pushed it over the edge for sure. I think that would have been awesome.
Sure.
That was cool.
Back to you, Andre.
Josh Keaton, the guy who did the voice work for Captain America in this episode and also in the What If episode. Also, eagle-eared listeners may remember from what I believe is probably, and I'm sorry, I really do love the X-Men, the Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s. But what I think was probably the best Spider-Man cartoon was the Spectacular Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Spectacular Spider-Man, and he did the voice on that as well as Peter Parker. So
the intro alone is superior to the 90s Spider-Man.
Spectacular Spider-Man. That song is so good.
It's hard, right?
Yeah, it did, and it did a great job of marrying all the Spider-Man stuff and making it unique in its own. The only reason it stopped was because Disney bought Marvel, and then they wanted to make everything Disney. So, but it was a shame because it was a great cartoon.
You know what? Sorry, you know what series was really good if you want to go that route? Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I still got that on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
It was fantastic. It would have been a 3rd season, but Disney wanted their own. I understand why. They wanted their continuity of the storyline.
Yeah,
which is terrible. Too bad.
But Keaton does a lot of voice work. He's on Star Trek video games. He He reprised the voice of Spectacular Spider-Man in Across the Spider-Verse as well, when he makes a brief appearance in that. So it's nice. It's nice that he's getting some love.
Got me on that.
It is cool that he's Spider-Man and Captain America. He also does a bunch of video games. He's Ocelot in the Metal Gear Solid 3 game. A lot of different stuff, but he's also in the Invincible cartoon as a different role and a few other things. So, yeah, but cool.
All right, well, back to me. Well, this is actually a bit of a nitpick. If I was going to nitpick the show a little bit, sometimes the audio is off a little bit. Like it's very obvious sometimes that the voice actors are recording in different studios on different gear. I think if they were to try to make a simple change for like the next seasons, just have everybody, they're all in different places and that's fine, but like try to standardize the gear somewhat. Maybe have them all use the same microphone or something, because like it's certainly very obvious with Bastion and Sunspot that they are using a way bassier microphone than everybody else, and there's other examples of it. Like there's inconsistencies in that.
Are you talking about in the studio or when they send it out? Who the equipment's provided to? In
studio, they're all recording at different studios all over the place, so they're not going to be using the same gear either.
I was gonna say, because Allison was in the closet.
You could standardize that gear in different studios. You could just say, "Hey, pick up these mics and use everyone just as they kind of standardize."
Really, I never noticed any issue with that. Maybe
for me, I've noticed it a lot.
Very little. Yeah, but it's there.
That's a nitpick. Whatever.
My next point, I want to read this entire exchange between Beast and Trilby because I feel like it's very important for what's going on in the series. Where Beast says the priority for the foreseeable future must be damage control. And Trish says, hell, tall order when mutants everywhere are taking to the streets. Beast says, riot's the language of the unheard. Tilby says, Martin Luther King. Like that was a quote from him. But smashing windows is destruction, not communication. Normal people won't accept mutants if they feel threatened. That fear is the whole issue. Beast says, perhaps the professor's vision for the future was too nearsighted. In begging for your tolerance was our first mistake. She says, oh, Hank, no, that's not what I'm saying. He says, but it's what you mean. That is the issue. As was your reporting outside my home while my friends were dying. Now, forgive me, I dare not waste any more of your tolerance, Miss Toby. Which is such a great nod to, how, this issue, and I'm sure this is not lost on you, Courtney, is that, every time this stuff comes up and something horrible happens to a minority, and lately in the States, it's been like a police shooting or something where a black person's been killed for no reason. And then people write about it, and they're like, well, this isn't the way to get attention on it. You all should just stay quiet. Riots. Yeah. Right. And it's like
Blue
obviously
Lives Matter. Right.
Yeah. And it's like obviously doing nothing has not stopped this from continuing to happen. So, people are angry and people are doing something about it. And I'm sure smashing up windows and doing whatever isn't necessarily the most the best way either, but it's also when you're outraged and angry, and not do it and following the rules is getting you nothing. Why?
My mentor,
it's an expression of no options.
Yeah. He beat me to it. It's not a solution. It's not the solution, but it's the formula to a problem. Don't be surprised if these results happen. Is what you're telling me, and I agree with that.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I think that's why the beauty of the X-Men as an allegory for any marginalized group of people is so awesome. Like that whole discussion with Sunspot talking to his mom could have easily been a kid coming out of the closet about being gay. It's just so it can just, and they did that in X-Men 2 as well when Bobby was talking to his family.
Or coming out of the closet of being a teacher.
That's right.
I mean, all right, guys. My apologies. I've got to go. I gotta get this girl her shots.
No problem.
No worries.
Thanks for coming in, man. It was great having you.
No problem.
Hey, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
See you later. Bye-bye.
All right. So we got 2 more X points each, I believe.
Right. So you're next.
So
I struggle to find my next one. So I know I have it here. Go ahead.
Well,
I know what mine is.
Rogue's strength a bit. So we've seen some upper feats about Rogue's strength. Yeah, where she can kind of go toe to toe with the Juggernaut or the Hulk. She's not as strong as either of them, but she can hang, and she can hang with Absorbing Man and stuff like that. So she's no joke. Something that could barely hold the Hulk could probably barely hold Rogue either. She's upper tier strength for sure, and it probably gets undersold sometimes. Because she's Captain Marvel essentially.
Yeah, well, she's got her abilities. Yeah. And who is stronger than the Hulk, apparently, and Thor, according to the lore of this world, but whatever. Or in comics at certain points.
Definitely stronger than Thor. No one's stronger than Hulk because his strength has no upper limit.
Or does it?
Nope.
Well, then how was he stopped by in World War Hulk when they used like a space satellite to take him down?
Oh, you can beat the Hulk. But like
Then
can't
you
stop
stopped
him
him.
From getting stronger. Yeah, you just can't stop him from getting stronger.
Well, I mean, I like the immortal Hulk idea that he just can't die either.
Yeah. The Green Door.
Yeah, that was a great story. I finished all of it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, good stuff.
Really dug it. My final point was there's a couple of interesting little animation snafus in this episode.
What was there?
You may notice that sometimes, while showing, and people have pointed this out online, when they're talking to Captain America, at some points he has the white lines on his costume, and other times it's just straight blue, right down to the gloves, depending on what scene he's in.
That's an odd mistake because you think it'd be the same person or same at least group of people.
Maybe the colorist was a different, and he lost, but. And also the other one is when Cyclops talks to President Kelly in the hologram, Kelly's reflected in Scott's glasses, but he's he's not mirrored. So like his jacket pocket is in the same space.
Really?
When you see him first and when you see him in the reflection. Not that that's a big one, but
it's just a copy. Like that's
it looks like Cyclops is wearing big earphones right there. I know it's his goggles that are on the back of his neck or whatever, but it just looks like he has like big
he's getting ready to podcast.
But no, it almost looks like he's wearing earrings, like they're like big, like Miss Cleo earrings from the Call Me Now.
Like the ones Lenore has. Lenore has a big set.
Yeah, right.
Big X.
Yeah, the X-Men ones, right? Yeah.
That's
my last point.
Well, no, you have one more actually. This is my last point. Yeah.
Oh man, so many points.
Well, I can do two.
No, go ahead. I got it.
Well, again, I'm just coming back to the. Well, you know what? I sort of do have two. Well, shout out to the music. There was some great classical guitar in this episode, and there was like the Loch Mayflower duet, which I love. That's on one of my.
It's No Happy Nation by. It's No Happy Nation by Ace of Base, but it's fun.
Oh my God, that reminded me of another point. So my buddy Belaski, if you're listening, Belaski, told me, I didn't know this. So apparently one of the members of Ace of Base turned out to be a neo-Nazi.
Oh, Jesus, really?
So that scene is Disney having a Jewish guy dance with a super hot younger chick to a neo-Nazi song. So it's sort of like a dig, I think.
I mean, if by dig you mean making a lot of attention towards that band and allowing them to have a bunch of money, because I'm sure this has put a boost.
I guess that too. Yeah, I guess so. That's true. So that's not a very good dig. Look at that.
I mean, I'm looking at their Wikipedia, and at no point does it say anything about this. So,
well, maybe that's wrong. Maybe I'm getting bad intel.
So don't go spam or don't go doxing Ace of Base. I was gonna say I feel bad because I bought one of their albums the other day, probably because of this episode.
Well, look up this guy's name. Here, look, I'll get more specific since now I've spilled the tea. He says, what was buddy's name? Ulf Ekberg of Ace of Base being outed as a Nazi punk band. Oh, being in a Nazi punk band. I see. Yeah, apparently. But, so, that's the thing, I guess. But well, no, my last point...
There's nothing on his Wikipedia about it either, so...
Yeah.
Not saying that does mean he's not, but...
I don't know.
But, I mean,
I probably shouldn't have mentioned that part.
I get
fed information from sources all the time, and I try to disseminate.
Here we go. On March, here it is.
Okay.
On 27th of March 1993, Expressen reported that Ekberg had once been a member of a band called Commit Suicide. Commit Suicide with an S instead of a C in Suicide. Not at the start, but in the middle. It was a band active in Gothenburg from 84 to 86 when Ulf was between the ages of 14 and 16. Described as a new wave music band creating and performing electronic music on synthesizers without any political touch or agenda. In 1998, songs that were claimed to have been recorded by Commit Suicide with explicit racist lyrics were released on an unauthorized album, Oof Was a Nazi. However, the cited songs were not recorded by that band. Other media outlets reported that Ekberg had been a neo-Nazi in his youth, for which experts repeatedly expressed regret. So, he was someone he was really young.
Oh, okay.
He said he repented on his criticized Wait. Eckberg has repented of and criticized this part of his life multiple times since his reporting. In '97 documentary, he said, I told everyone I really regret what I've done. I took the experience from it, I learned from it, but that life is not me, it's someone else.
There you go. Grow as a human. Good job, Ulf.
Ulf.
Sorry to spill your old tea, but I get fed things.
Well, it's on his Wikipedia, so there you go.
All right. Well,
no, my final point.
My final point was actually about Purple People Eater. I want to speculate on why they've chosen this song.
Because he's purple. That's why.
No, I don't think it is.
Than that. Okay, what else?
Because if you get into the lyrics of Purple People Eater, there's like two things that are being expressed. One is
I love that we're addressing the deeper meaning of Purple People Eater.
Well, Sheb Woolley.
Yeah, he's a great artist. A great song.
So
it's kind of a ridiculous song, but it's fun. Do you remember the movie Purple People Eater from the 90s? Like the kids movie? Yeah, okay.
Yes. So where was I? Oh yeah, so the thing about the Purple People Eater is it's expressing kind of a bit of a mistaken identity but like just slightly so, because the Purple People Eater, the person who's singing the song thinks the Purple People Eater is going to eat him. But then he finds out that, the Purple People only eats purple people, wherever those purple people are from. Who knows? Because this is an alien, the Purple People Eater. He's an alien.
He's come to Earth to join a rock and roll band.
Yeah, to join a rock and roll band, which is the other point. So there's two things happening in this song that could translate to this show. One is that the perceived threat is just slightly off. So where we may see Bastion and Sinister, or one or the other, targeting mutants, it's going to be slightly different than that, or slightly more specific. It's not going to be targeting humans, it's going to be targeting purple humans. You know what I mean? And
which are the Sentinel Primes, hidden Sentinels that are people combinations?
Maybe that's the analogy there. I don't know. But the other thing that's expressed in that song is that the intent of the supposed villain is also like wildly misinterpreted. He's not an alien here to eat you even really at all. He just wants to play in a rock and roll band. So that suggests that
Bastion's
again, it could be Bastion or Sinister, but I think probably Bastion. No, like we're entirely misreading Bastion is what I'm thinking in his intentions based on that song choice. But maybe I'm just getting a little too deep into the Purple People Eater.
I think it's just a cool stylistic way to, it's not new to have a villain humming along or obsessed with a certain song.
No Serenity, he eats purple people.
Well, in the song, he tells the narrator he won't eat him because he's too tough.
That too.
Which means the term, which can, saying that like you're either too tough to be chewed or he's too strong.
Kilgrave is coming. No, he's not.
He also has a one horn, and they imply that it's like an anatomical horn, but then later in the song, he's playing it. So
it's a silly song.
Exactly. I don't know if there's meant
things
to be...
we can derive from it.
Yeah, I just think it's a cool stylistic choice to introduce this character. Obviously, he's not just a bad guy. No, we are in Nova Scotia, Canada. Serenity. Do we have accents that sound like we're from the Midwest?
That would be interesting.
Well, it's funny because when we talk to people from other places, especially in the States, because I just talked to one from my other show, I don't feel like they sound any different than we do.
Depends on where.
Maybe so. Well, Americans anyway, because I talked to someone from Texas, and then I talked to someone from Las Vegas,
Yeah, it's true. Like some people from Texas talk like this. But you had Joe Eisman on your show, and he's from Texas. And
he kind of had that. He kind of had. Well, he had a little. Oh no, not Eisman. No, not Eisman. Sorry, I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about.
No, Dietrich had a Southern accent.
Dietrich did.
Yeah, he totally had a Southern accent. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's a stylistic choice to they introduce this cool character, and he's purple, he's pinkish colored.
Serenity thinks we sound like we're from Fargo.
Oh yeah, from Minnesota.
Oh yeah, eh?
Well, that their accent is
take off, eh? We're just doing the Bob and Doug McKenzie. Eh?
Their accent is pretty close to what the stereotypical Canadian one is in most fiction.
Yeah, but that's a Northern Ontario accent. That has nothing to do with our part of the world.
Well, I don't know. It's fun. People have weird ears for it. I remember when I went to Las Vegas. Actually, I was talking to a couple girls from Virginia, and their accents were like they sound just like Clarice Starling from The Silence of the Lambs. And they were like, you must be from Maine. And I was like, why? And they said, oh, you got that Maine accent. And I'm like, you guys like, do I like? So I don't know. Who knows?
Pretty close.
It worries me a little bit as someone who does some acting. Like I don't want to come off as not, the voice that I got, but I don't think I do. But who knows?
No, I think I probably have a thicker Nova Scotian accent than you do. I think you sound fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I just think it was a stylistic choice for that one. But the other part is my final moment was going to be like the coolness of this villain. Bastion is a neat villain, and it's a fun nod to 90s, bringing in these 90s X-Men characters. I know we surmised all these different people that might show up, Cassandra Nova, Onslaught, all that stuff, and Bastion wasn't one of them. But it is pretty cool that they made him a very charismatic villain. The voice work on him is fantastic. And I really, really dig the horror movie elements of. I got real vibes from that fight in Madripoor with the Trask. That it reminded me of Akira. That big fight with Akira at the end of Akira. So that was really cool. Have you seen Akira?
Y'all sounds about right because y'all sound like you're from the northern states, except for those Quebecians, of course. I just wanted to highlight the word Quebecians.
Quebecian does sound cool.
I know they don't use that.
Quebecer is the way that's pronounced. But that's cool. Hey, thanks for listening. It's cool that we got folks from other areas in the states as well.
I'm gonna make so many people mad with the word Quebecians.
Quebecians. It's like Beckian. Someone named Becky. You're like Beckian. All right, let's roll.
All right, let's speed her up or get running along again.
That's all right.
Hey, check this out.
What you got for us? Well, I'll go first because mine are predictable. Well, I was going to be the predictable choice. I was trying to be a little less predictable. The predictable choice would have been Operation Zero Tolerance, that story, the Zero Tolerance story. But it's not my favorite. I'm not going to recommend that actually.
E for Extinction for the third time.
No, Extinction Agenda.
Nice.
Which I probably have recommended one time during the old series, but you know what? Check it out. I think Tolerance of Extinction is going to take some stuff from this as well, though. I think it'll probably be a mix of Zero Tolerance and this story. And obviously a bit of the Grant Morrison stuff it's already been touching on. So, and I'm not entirely sure we're not going to see Strife. Like, they're trying to make us think we're definitely not going to see Strife, but
it'd be a lot to
I'm
throw
not
that
convinced.
in now.
I know.
We have another season that's already been done, so
I know.
We'll get to that maybe.
I agree with you, and that's what I'm saying. Like, everything in the world, all the logic in the world would suggest that's too much, and we're not going to see Strife. But I am not convinced that we are not going to see Strife in these three. Maybe you're onto something. Because you know what, they haven't been too afraid to throw a lot at the wall, and a lot at you in this series so far. Like,
well, yeah, we still have 3 more episodes, and there's probably going to be some time travel malarkey going on, so we'll find out.
Yeah, so Extinction Agenda, check it out. I mean, that's more about Cameron Hodge and stuff, but it's also about a government agenda against mutants, which I think we're going to obviously see here. Like Bastion, these Prime Sentinels have obviously infiltrated the government. We're going to see, like, Senator Kelly, President Kelly could be a Prime Sentinel. So, we'll see.
Some of the promotional material they've released for the last 3 episodes shows them fighting humans that look like Trask.
A lot of them, too.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that there's a lot of secret sleeper agents in the, maybe it's in the water. Who knows? Yeah, he was one of the. Yeah, was he? Yeah, he was. We said that when that episode.
God. Okay, yeah. I forgot about that. Okay, so we've seen Strife already. Oh,
well, briefly. He's just off.
We're gonna see Strife. All right.
All right. Did I do this one already, Devin?
Mr. Miracle? No, you've talked about it, but you haven't shown it or anything.
Tom King's Mr. Miracle.
Yeah.
I read it a little while ago. It's very cool. It's not
Tom
really
King's great.
What's going on now, but it's a different take on Mr. Miracle. The whole idea that life is almost something you can escape as well, or try to. and the difficulty of all the different aspects that come with being the son of a despot, and what war looks like, and combining it over with life on Earth that you're trying to balance as well. It's very interesting. It's full of all kinds of cool little meticulous details relating to the new gods and old gods stuff. And I'm a sucker for a good dark side Jack Kirby inspired story. And this one has a lot of things to say about parenthood, which might really strike someone like yourself who is a parent.
I believe it would.
2 times over.
I was choking up with the whole Cyclops Cable gene thing. Like, that was a bit much for me. Like, I was getting flashes of like having to give up your child and then meeting them again as like someone who's older than you, and it's just like I would probably never stop crying. That would probably be like a
well, you missed their whole life.
Yeah,
exactly. I would assume Cable's in his 50s or at least late 40s. So
it's. I mean, hard life. You could go gray early.
But, oh man, I want to do Cable's voice.
Yeah,
so good.
Well, maybe we'll do another radio theater.
Yeah, maybe so. That'd be fun.
It would be. I'm still working on the edited version of the last one, so we'll get there. We're getting there. Yeah, check that out. I enjoyed Tom King's run on The Vision.
Yes, that was fantastic. His Batman run is great too. From what I've read of it, I've read most of it, a good chunk of it.
So so good writer, that Tom King.
That Tom King, good guy up there, like Tom King.
That Thomas King. What do we got here? All right.
Movies.
You don't like the movie? Change the channel.
Well, at first I did grab one thing off my shelf because I was like, well, I just wanted to do something that I watched and I knew I liked, and I was kind of in a hurry. So I was thinking about movies where people die and then aren't really dead and keep coming back, and I thought of Death Becomes Her, the Robert Zemeckis movie.
Oh, I love that movie.
Which is a really fun movie. But I decided last minute, I mean, this is like I guess you're getting a 2 for this one. It's a really fun movie.
Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. I'm a big, and like a bunch of celebrity cameos. Isabella Rossellini as well, in a pretty prominent role. She's the one that gives them the elixir. But I'm a big fan of Robert Zemeckis. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But he's made some really, as far as like people that make big budget, high profile movies that were designed for the masses. This is a very unique and weird one that's really fun.
I saw it when I was too young too.
Meryl Streep's great in it too.
Yeah.
But the movie I did decide to be the one I would pick because I dearly love all of the movies by this particular filmmaker, and I the use of the song "One-Eyed, One-Horned, Flying Purple People Eater," as much as it was used in this episode, reminded me of this movie.
The movie Purple People Eater from the 90s. Is that your recommendation?
No, it is not. It is the movie Nope by Jordan Peele.
Oh, no spoilers! I haven't seen that one yet. No, I did see that one. Never mind.
You did.
I did see it.
Okay, well, it is one of the most.
I enjoyed it.
Anytime I see anything that did something different that I've never seen before, always makes me happy. And this takes the UFO concept and does something with it that I've never seen before and thought was very unique, very interesting, and very cool. I mean, it's great meticulations on our obsession with sensationalism, with spectacle specifically, and also our relationship with animals. And how we try to put a collar on nature, and sometimes it's best that we just let nature be nature.
Oh my God, that's my entire ethos as a human being.
Well,
what I do for a living.
I agree with you, my friend. So it's
I caught you pouring Drano down your drain, Andre. We got a lot of work to do, buddy. We have a lot of work.
Yeah, well, I haven't done that again, and it was only because I was desperate. I'm also in a well, so it's not like it's going right into the water system. It's in my well.
That's not good.
No, not my well. Sorry, I have a septic system. I have a septic tank. I'm not on a sewage tank. I have a septic tank.
You scared me there for a second.
I'm sorry. I meant it's in my septic tank, which I know groundwater does good. So yes, I do feel bad about that.
That's different than pouring it into your well. That's for sure.
Yes. I pour bleach in there.
You might as well.
No, I am on a well as well. Also, but no. So I try to be very environmentally conscious, and obviously I'm a big animal lover. I have given up eating red meat about 1.5 years ago because I felt bad.
Did you?
Oh yeah, never talked about this.
No.
Yeah, I don't eat.
I gave it up when I was 12.
I don't eat mammals, so I only eat chicken and fish when it comes to meat, and I feel bad about that too. But I just gotta eat something. So maybe someday I'll get to be a full vegetarian, but I'm working on it.
I'm still pescatarian myself.
Yeah, I just mostly, and I know chickens aren't treated well either, but pigs are smarter. Pigs are smarter
Why don't
than
you have your own
dogs.
chickens? You have plenty of room. You can just have your own chickens. Get some nice fresh eggs.
I couldn't kill them. That's for sure.
I would somebody else to do that.
Nah, I still couldn't do that. I would grow too attached.
I know because they're your pets.
If I just kept them for eggs, then yeah, that'd be fine.
That's what I mean. Keep them for eggs. Anyway.
And also, they're good for like ticks, right? Because they eat ticks.
Oh,
so yeah,
slugs.
So, and there are people around me. Like my neighbors have free chickens that I see wandering around every once in a while, and I always worry they get hit by a car or something.
What, your chickens?
Well, my neighbors have chickens that just seem to be free running around their property.
Well,
not like in a cage.
You got to assume they're intelligent enough not to be hit by a car.
I hope so. But cats and dogs are smarter than that. They get hit by cars.
Yeah, they run real fast into them though.
Yeah, so I just felt bad. Like pigs are smarter than dogs, and just because they're tasty, is that a good reason to eat them? Not necessarily. So that's my choice. I don't fault anybody for living their own way. I just I feel bad about eating mammals. So yeah,
I'll fault like factory farming. I'll fault unsustainable practices. But I'm not going to fault anyone for eating meat.
No, but it's just not. We all got to figure out how we can live in this world, and this is how I chose to. So.
Yeah. Like people are always just like, no one should eat meat. I'm like, what if you live in the Arctic?
Mm-hmm.
That's always my first answer. What if you live in the Arctic? You can't grow anything. Yeah.
So club a seal and get back to work. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah.
That's it. So go watch. If you haven't watched Nope yet, it's a fantastic movie, and I highly suggest it.
Yeah, it is good, and it has Kiki Palmer, who I would like to play Rogue. I think she could do it.
She would be an interesting choice.
She's been campaigning for it. Maybe a little old at this point for the role, but she could do it. I'll jump on my remote. Go watch The Gentleman. I'm not quite finished it, but it's really good, and it's starring Bastion here, Theo James. So check that out on Netflix.
Oh, really? Is the show that good? Because I don't know, it just feels like the movie. Though the movie came out like 3 years ago, and they're together in a series.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the movie, but from what I hear, the show's better than the movie.
Yeah, my wife watched it, and I think she liked it.
That's on the list. Serenity Q2.
Yeah,
I want to watch Shogun next.
I'm actually watching Fallout right now.
I'm sort of watching a bit of that. Tiffany already watched it once through, and she's watching it again. So I'm sort of jumping on the second watch a little bit.
Yeah, I dig it. I've only seen the first episode, but it's
yeah, me too.
Yeah. It's a good first episode.
Shogun though.
Yeah, me too.
It's a good first episode.
I'm also watching The Righteous Gemstones, which is fantastic. If you like. Have you
ever seen The Detectorist, Andre?
Detectorist.
It's my favorite show that nobody's seen.
That doesn't even sound like a show. Detectorist?
The Detectorists.
That's a word?
The Detectorists.
Oh.
Yeah, it's starring Mackenzie Crook from the original Office and Toby Jones.
Oh, well, Toby Jones is fantastic.
So is Mackenzie Crook. He writes it, Mackenzie Crook, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, he's the tall, lanky guy that was the Gareth, right? Yeah, okay.
Gareth.
He was in the Pirates movie.
Original Office. Was he? Okay.
Yeah. You never watched any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies?
It's just relaxing to watch. The music is good. It's just kind of
what's the story?
Folk music. It's sort of this offbeat British comedy where it's more about the characters.
About metal detectors?
Yeah, they're metal detectorists.
Oh, that's where the detectorists come from. I get it. I thought it was like a detective thing. I was like, what is
No, they're metal. They like just walking. So most episodes, they're just walking through a field and it's relaxing and they're metal detecting. But it's so hilarious because it's got that dry British wit. And
it's had 3 seasons and 2 Christmas specials, so it's been around for a while.
2 Christmas specials?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen those. Well, that's exciting.
The first Christmas special is from 2015. The second one is from 2022.
Oh my God! I have to check out these Christmas specials.
Sure do.
Oh, I'm
speaking
so excited.
Speaking of obscure British shows people haven't seen before, In the Flesh is one I highly suggest. It's a zombie show about the zombie thing happened. Something happened, and all the dead came to life. People that had died became zombies. But then they figure out a way to return your brain back to the way it was before you were a zombie. So all these people that were zombies suddenly have to reintegrate into their old lives after dying, with all their memories and their personality back, but they're still dead. So and they become a marginalized part of society. Some try to fit in by wearing makeup and wigs and stuff to look more like they did when they were alive. Others embrace the fact that they're different now, and society treats them differently, whatever, depending on where they're from. But it only had 2 seasons. The second season, it got canceled and ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, but it was a really, really good show. And I highly suggest it. Mainly follows a gay kid who killed himself before this happened. Then came back, became a zombie, was put through the process of there's a drug you have to take to go back to the way he was before, but has memories of the people he killed when he was a zombie, and is trying to like return to his old life with his family and everything. And it's very, very good show. I mean, it's all an allegory mostly for being gay, or just like X-Men being a marginalized thing for society, but it's very good, very well done.
Right, check that out.
All I need now is for you to contact your students, Professor.
They've definitely put like an extra bit of a process on Sinister's voice for this new show.
I love it. It's really cool. Well, your homework, dear listener, is or gentle listener, as I refer to the listeners of my other podcast, is to watch the next episode, which lucky you comes out tomorrow, or so you get to watch.
Comes out in 3 hours and 45 minutes.
It's after midnight, isn't it? Yes. So watch the next episode, which will be Extinction is Tolerance, or Tolerance is Extinction, Part 1.
Yep, Tolerance is Extinction,
which I'm very excited to watch. Very, very excited.
So I'll pump that for you, Murphy, since you love it so much. Murphy loves Extraordinary Attorney Woo.
I've never heard of that. There's so many shows now. Remember back in the day when they're like everybody watched All in the Family, because you had like 6 things you could watch on TV, and that was it. Like it was almost brought us closer together when we could all talk about the shows you watched, because they were the only shows out there, so everybody had to watch it. Now it's like, did you see that? Did you see this? It's hard to keep up with everything. I'm working on it, but it's hard.
No, it's way too hard for me, so that's why I only watch Star Trek and X-Men.
Well, a lot of it is stuff that I watch while I'm working. Like that's when I'm watching The Righteous Gemstones, and I watch Fallout when I'm on the treadmill at the gym.
Oh, and to add to the homework here, Bo DeMaio happened to mention that if you want to study up for Tolerance's Extinction, to check out One Man's Worth, Descent, and Graduation Day, and there might have been one more.
Oh, you're talking about the things? It's the One Man's Worth one I remember. Descent is the Sinister one.
And Graduation Day, which is the last episode, but I think there was one more episode.
Did you post what that list was? Because I'm sure I've seen it all over Facebook 1,000 times.
I'm sure X-Goon Hanif sent it to me.
Then maybe that's where I saw it originally. Oh, it's the final decision. Season 1 episode, the final episode of season 1. The One Man's Worth 1 and 2 from season 4, and 6 and 7 Sanctuary.
Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, so Sanctuary, right?
So Sanctuary is the Asteroid M episode.
Fabian Cortez one, yeah. It's like where he goes just bonker sauce. I love
Fabian. Maybe we'll get Apocalypse, because he was connected to Sinister too, right?
Or Fabian Cortez.
Well, if you recall correctly, Cortez was used as the sacrifice when they couldn't get Jubilee at the end of the episode to be the life to sacrifice to bring back the new form of Apocalypse. So,
true point.
Boom, boom.
Well, you can support our show at patreon.com/X-Men Review Show, or by buying some of our sweet merch over there at redbubble.com/people/X-Men Review Show/shop. And, we'll have some more designs up for you there soon. Maybe a Cyclops was right, because, I think he probably was. And contact us at xmenreviewshow@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and find our audio-only version wherever you get your podcasts. And, hit those like buttons. Give us some reviews. Hit the little bell there on YouTube.
I feel like we're like the prime, I know this is all part of the game of podcasting, because I say it too.
Yeah.
But I just feel like do you watch that? Do you know Neil Brennan is the comedian?
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah,
he had his new special. He's making fun of like these people that like do these TikToks and these YouTube things where they're like, smash that. They always clap. It's like smash that like and subscribe button. You know, just reminded me of that.
A proud member of the United Federation of Podcasts. You can check out at ufpodcasts.com. But Andre, tell us what's happening over.
Well, we have an alarming first for my show. We had a person die on air. So I decided I'm just going to play that audio and just let it go. Who cares? I'm kidding.
Was it me?
I meant like really die, not just, metaphorically die. Like, your episode was great.
I just died on the inside while listening to it.
Oh, your episode was great. Did you not like your episode?
No, it was. No, I actually thought it was a very good episode.
I thought so too. You had a lot of interesting stories. You almost killed Stan Lee. You lived a transient.
Oh, I meant Andrew, not mine. I meant your most recent one with Andrew Thomas.
Oh, you didn't like it? You almost died listening to Andrews? Why?
No, the opposite. Mine was crap. Andrew's was very good.
Yours was great.
No, mine was fine.
Well, if you want to listen to the one that Davin calls crap, you can go back and listen to.
It's not crap.
Episode 28 of the show is Davin Scalehorn, so you can go tune into that one.
You can't hear the Stan Lee story.
Davin is referring to my newest episode, which just dropped on Monday with Andrew Thomas, who does the lettering for Kevin Smith's new book and a few other things. He's also an illustrator, very talented illustrator. Did a lot of alternate covers for various comics, most notably some Turtles ones that just came out. But is a proud and happy letterer.
Or whatever.
Oric, yeah, that's his creator own book. He does the art on that as well. But great artist, very cool guy. Our next episode, which drops on Monday, is with Isabel Burke, who is a comic artist that's working on a collection called Friction, that's been put together by another former guest of the show, Carla Nappi, who is working on this collection. So she had reached out to me because they have some kind of a team involved with promoting this book, and several of the creators from it would like to be in the show. So I'm just kind of working them in throughout. But the next person after that is Jim Calafiore, who I'll be talking to tomorrow, recording, who was the illustrator for which I'm reading his new book right now, so we can talk about it. But did a lot of really cool Marvel books, most notably, and I remember his art distinctly, from Exiles. He did a lot of work on that Exiles run.
Oh, yeah.
When they had their own
What
book.
Exiles run?
The main one,
First
the big long one that had like Blink and Spider Carnage and all those guys in it. Hyperion. Yeah, so it's I'm going to try to break in on reading those next because I need something to read next, and those will be interesting to me. So, but yes, Jim Calafiore, he has a new book coming out. I think he's created her own book. He sent it to me to check out. It's really good so far. I'm going to try to finish it before I go.
Beauty. All right. Well, also check out our other things over there at the United Federation of Podcasts, like Hold Up a Movie Podcast. We talked about bicycle movies last night. Some contentious moments.
You haven't put the audio up for that one yet.
Oh, you're right. I haven't. I'll do that in the morning. So that'll be up in
audio
only.
For me.
Yeah, there you go. I'll have that up bright and early tomorrow morning. Check out Super Mater Brothers, and our very X-Men podcast here will also be up in audio only version tomorrow morning. And the MMS we do over there, which I don't know. Deadpool. Oh, we might do a crossover with the MMS. With Wolverine.
I don't want to be associated with those people.
It's me and cousin Dave and Jameel, but I understand.
Well, Jameel doesn't like Grant Morrison.
Oh, right. Jameel is the unseedly element here. No, Jameel's great. Jameel sent me a beautiful Sentinel and a Wolverine. Jameel's wonderful people.
Well, Jameel sent me any gifts. No, I'm kidding. Thank you.
Well, that's because you like Grant Morrison.
Oh, I see. I'm the enemy.
Yeah. And of course, we have a ton of great Star Trek content over at Live Long Podcast, so check that out. Oh, and of course, Trivial Debates. There's one coming up on X-Men that I will be taking part in soon enough. Aiming on Track, check that out as well. Hellbound Podcast with Alex Blackburn and Michael Chan, and the newest members of our federation. Hey, did you see this one? They talked about the movie The Wrestler today.
I did see that one. I lived that one.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Well,
they were talking about you today.
That movie's way more tragic than most wrestling stories, but it's a very good movie.
No, Andre's story is more like
unfulfilled dreams, cycling on repeat, stuck, rotting. So many futures lost. So many paths unfinished. Lacking closure.
I don't want to give you the satisfaction, but that hits a lot closer. That was devastating to me. That was devastating to me because that is my life. I'm kidding. I do feel mostly fulfilled by my life, but like everyone, there's always these opportunities. I'm gonna go kill myself now. Thank you, Dad.
Damn it! All right, I'll be
the next
new co-host will be back next.
The next episode starts when you like have the camera comes on. You just see my feet hanging, just swinging outside of the camera.
Oh my! Hopefully that doesn't happen. Catch you next time.
Next time.
Looks like they skipped town before you got here.